Well, welcome back. Here we go. Just checking in some latest information. We have a tornado warning now for Philadelphia County. Again, this just came out in the last couple of minutes, and a new flash flood warning. So you can see stuff is breaking before your eyes. So we're going to walk you through this tornado warning. Again, it's brand new, so I'm going to check out the information on this. This is for Philadelphia and Delaware County. And for all of those listening on KYW News Radio 1060, again, this is with some of those blinding downpours that you're experiencing in and around Philadelphia. So getting you the latest on this tornado warning. The tornado warning is in effect for Philadelphia County and areas of northeastern Chester County, western Philadelphia County, northeastern Delaware County. Again, this is brand new until 8 o'clock this morning, until 8 a.m. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It was located over Philadelphia International Airport, and it was moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. Again, this is probably a rain-wrapped tornado. It's indicated by radar. It means it has not been spotted by anybody, but it would be this storm system right here. You can see the signature right now on our radar. So again, this is near the airport. In fact, if we could put up a shot of the airport, we'll see what the conditions are right now. And you can see that we've had bad conditions in terms of the rainfall all morning long. And this storm system, again, moving off to the north at 25 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do is put a storm track on this storm. Again, this is a radar-indicated tornado. We knew this was a possibility today with the potential of some brief spin-ups. This happens during tropical storms. They tend not to last very long, but they can cause some damage. So you need to be aware of that. So let's put a track on this storm moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. Sharon Hill, 735, 738 Upper Darby, 742 Drexel Hill, 749 in Marion, and 752 in Haverford. So I'm going to zoom in and show you all the communities in this magenta shaded warning here. And again, if you're listening on KYW News Radio, you probably don't want to be on the roads if you can be right now, because the conditions are very lousy in terms of rainfall visibility, and we have this potential rain-wrapped tornado. So communities in this tornado warning include Upper Darby, Marion, Allen Lane. We are seeing Gladwin in this tornado warning, Conshohocken in this tornado warning. The storm is moving off to the north at 25 miles per hour. Again, I'll put a time cone on here for you to see. Storm is moving north at 25 miles per hour. This tornado has not been spotted as far as we know, but our radar is indicating that there is a potential tornado. So Yeadon, 741, Marion, 751, 755 in Haverford, 804 in West Conshohocken. What you need to be doing right now is getting away from windows. I know it may be enticing to look outside and see the storm coming. Not a good idea. These tornadoes tend to be brief spin-ups, but they can have winds 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. So walking you through the tips of what you do. If you're inside your house, you go to a central room or basement. You want to be on the lowest floor of your home. You want to be away from windows. High-rise buildings, you don't want to be near glass, so go into a bathroom if you can. Again, the storm is moving relatively quickly, and we'll be able to track that back edge to show you who is clear in just a couple of seconds. Stay away from windows and cover your head. So again, this is in Philadelphia. Now, our cameras are a bit shrouded right now because the cloud deck is very low. So we're not seeing too much on our weather cameras to show you. I can show you an eerie shot of Philadelphia International Airport. And again, the visibility is poor. It's tough. We're seeing these blinding downpours in spots. The rainfall rates are over 3 inches an hour. So I'm going to take you into that storm cell. And again, these tend to spin up very quickly and then also can fizzle out very quickly. So we'll continue to watch this with our radar. What I'm going to do now is put this on onto the velocity mode, which is looking at the winds, the wind direction in this thunderstorm. And what I'm going to do now is see if we can see this signature on our radar. So looking at the radar, you can see we're looking for a red-green couplet, and it looks relatively loose. So meaning that we're not seeing a real tight spin up here, which would be good news, but there's still the potential of some damaging winds. So again, we're going to get this latest radar scan here. But this would be where the small circulation is. So for all of you that live in this area, so near Yeadon, moving to the north, the storm again is moving very much to the north at about 25 miles per hour. I'm multitasking here, so this is why you're hearing some delays in my voice. All right, so it's moving to the north at 25 miles per hour. Again, the potential tornado would be in this small little circulation you see near Marion, and the storm is lifting off to the north. I think the bigger problem with this storm is the rainfall rates that are occurring with it. There you go. You can see the airport in the northwest corner of your screen there. Let's just give you a recap here of who is in this tornado warning. Again, the western side of Philadelphia, moving up towards Marion. We are seeing areas like Haverford, Gladwin in this tornado warning, Shawmont, Conshohocken, and this is in effect until 8 o'clock this morning. So until they cancel this warning, we will be with you to show you the conditions. Here's a live look at the radar. The problem is this cell right here, the bottom edge of it. We have a tropical storm moving in our direction. Tropical storms have a lot of spin with them, and so they can create isolated tornadoes on the right-hand side. In Philadelphia, parts of South Jersey are in that tornado threat here through this afternoon. So here's a tornado, potential tornado on our radar. Signature is not looking as impressive as it was earlier, but still need to be prepared for some damaging winds. You want to be away from windows. Again, you can see the airport. The conditions have improved at the airport, which shows that anywhere from the airport south, the threat is over. The threat now is mainly focused across western Philadelphia County and eastern areas of Delaware County, northeastern Delaware County, with this storm as it lifts to the north at about 25 miles per hour. We're going to put another storm track on for you just to show you the communities. Again, this is a very populated area. We want you away from windows until the threat is over. This is going to be a long day. We're going to have probably several tornado warnings as we go through the course of the day. Again, these don't come from your traditional thunderstorms with a lot of lightning and thunder. You really can't hear it coming, and it should be brief in nature, but again, it can cause damage. All right, so we are looking at 7:39 in Yeadon, Milbourne, 7:43, 7:49 in Marion, 7:51 in Narberth. In addition to this tornado warning, and I don't want to underplay the tornado warning, but this is also a big problem over a huge area, is the flash flooding that's happening right now across areas of eastern Chester County into western Montgomery County and then into South Jersey. This rain band has been parked here for a long time. We've seen rainfall amounts in the radar estimating 3 inches per hour. In this area, we can only handle about 2 inches of rain in 6 hours. So we're way past that. And that's why you're seeing these flash flood warnings. This is the first one of the day. I expect several more to go. This is a very serious weather day. Our tone has changed. It's very important that you keep updated and have a way to get warnings, because this is just the beginning of a very long day. There's the potential tornadic thunderstorm right now just west of Philadelphia, moving to the north. You will not likely be able to see it. It's probably wrapped in rain as it moves off to the north. Again, blinding rain up and down the northeast extension of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. We're seeing very heavy rain along the Schuylkill Expressway, and actually you can see a live 95 near the airport. Thank you very much. You can see the conditions really change from place to place, but if you want to be in the heart of that storm where it's really pouring, you're going to be in that area in West Philadelphia up to lower Montgomery County. That's where the weather is the worst right now, with potential damaging winds and also intense heavy rain. Noteworthy, eastern Philadelphia County, nothing is happening at all. So this is what happens in these tropical rain bands. It's almost all or nothing. Either you get extremely heavy rain or nothing at all. And that's what we see in the western part of the county. So again, rainfall totals coming in 3.66, so 3 2/3 inch per hour rainfall rate. So blinding downpours. You can see some of the rainfall totals, and actually these are a little outdated. I plotted these about a half hour ago. The rainfall totals in these areas probably even higher. So the timeline of all this, how does this play out? Again, we have our first tornado warning of the day. I do expect more and more tornado warnings to come out. Is late morning through midday. We've been telling you that this is going to be the worst part of the storm. This is when we're dealing with flooding, probably some tornado warnings at the same time, and then the wind threat, which ramps up. The wind threat coming at a widespread scale. The tornado threat, a very small scale. The wind threat, a widespread scale. So be prepared to lose power during the day today. We're covering this aggressively because this is a very populated area. These are brief spin-ups that can cause some damage, and we have a lot of people probably on the roadway right now that we don't want to see. So if you can stay home, you're watching us on TV right now, that's a great thing. If you're in your car, just be very vigilant of the conditions right now. For all of our listeners on KYW News Radio 1060, if you see any kind of conditions and you just have to pull over to the side of the road, that's okay. Put your hazards on and do so, because these are absolutely blinding downpours in some of these thunderstorms. So again, we were looking at the live drive shot there as we are moving, I guess, away from the airport. I'm not sure in which direction, north, from the airport and chasing the backside of that thunderstorm that is in western and northern parts of Philadelphia County. Again, the flash flooding is definitely a scenario that we're concerned about across our western suburbs. We are in a severe risk, so this is not typically what you see around here. This is the top end of the scale. Our live cameras, the ones that we can show you that aren't shrouded in clouds, the airport, which is where this storm originated from, but it's moving away from the airport. The airport, you do not have to worry about a tornado right now. That storm is north of you. Let's take a look at the latest radar scan to show you. And I'm just going to check in our weather service chat room to make sure that everything, if we don't have any new information. So Delaware County, you are now out of the warning. Delaware County, you are now out of the threat of having a tornado. So the tornado warning continues for everyone in parts of Montgomery County and Philadelphia County. So this is a radar indicated tornado. We have not seen it by any spotters yet. If you do have some damage, please send it over to us on the NBC10 app. See it, share it. Any photos, just make sure that the storm is over where you are. You do not want to put yourself in the threat. So we're looking at flying debris possible with this tornado. Some of the things that come off your house first are the shingles, the siding. Again, these aren't tornadoes that level homes, but they can cause problems with tree branches and twigs snapping off and flying around. So again, conditions vary from spot to spot. You're seeing this from north from the airport, and there's not a whole lot of rain in that shot. But I guarantee you, if you are on the parts of West Philadelphia, near the Delaware County line, near the Montgomery County line, actually near Marion right now, that rain is coming down extremely heavy. So let's tell you where the tornado threat has ended. Everywhere in and around the airport, you're clear. You don't have to worry about it. You can get out of your safe place right now, your safe place being a bathroom or away from windows. Upper Darby, you're fine now. Cardington, you're fine. Again, the threat with this storm would be up to the north here, moving into lower Montgomery County. Let's take a look at our velocity signature. Again, this is looking at the winds, whether they're coming toward or away from the radar. It helps give us an indication on whether there's any twisting or turning. So we're seeing a little bit of a couplet here, which would indicate that there is still some rotation with this storm. It's not as impressive as it was earlier, but still the potential of some damaging winds near Marion right now with that very heavy rainfall. Let's get a look at the big picture right now as we take a look at the radar picture, and you can see this is why we have a tough morning ahead of us. We haven't really even gotten into the thick of it yet. We're on the northern part of this storm system. This part right here that I'm showing you right now, and if you're listening to us on the radio, KYW News Radio 1060, this line of storms that I'm showing now across southern Delaware is the one that we really need to watch. This is where we could have several tornado warnings across the area. So any of these cells that we have across southeastern Pennsylvania could produce a tornado at any time. But it's this arc of storms that I'm really concerned about. This is the northern side of tropical storm Isaias moving in our direction. So again, this storm system has multiple layers to it, one being the heavy rainfall, the other being the potential isolated tornado threat. So we need to watch this again. Heavy rain, blinding rain right now, right along the Schuylkill Expressway, areas of the Pennsylvania Turnpike getting clobbered right now. I would expect there's probably some flooding in and around the King of Prussia area based on this. Rainfall rates, again, 3 to 3.5 inches per hour. And we are just getting into the thick of the rain. This is going to be a very big problem. If you live in our suburbs, Berks County, the Lehigh Valley, this will be a big issue today. You can't handle much rain. You've had a very saturated month of August so far, and in spots even July, and so this rainfall will cause some severe flash flooding. It's just a matter of time before it starts to add up. So again, we'll watch you guys. South Jersey towards the shore, nothing happening right now. We will be watching this northern arc of storms. That's when you will get into the action. Flash flooding, not as great of a concern in South Jersey, but the wind potential later on today is a real threat where wind gusts could approach 70 miles per hour at the shore. To reset you, it's 7:43 in the morning. We have a tornado warning now for lower Montgomery County. I'm going to step off the screen. We also have flash flood warnings for parts of our area right now. So we have two scenarios unfolding, some flash flooding and also a tornado warning. So what I'm going to do is pull up our warning graphic. Notice they have chopped off the area near the airport. The threat is over for you. The threat now is mainly for these areas. So East Falls, we're into West Manayunk, Ballackinwood, so right along City Avenue there, we are seeing that threat of potentially damaging winds and a possible tornado. What I'm going to do now is look on our Weather Service chat room to see if there's any updates. Okay, issues tornado warning. Okay, so there's a new tornado warning now for Sussex County in Delaware, and they just canceled the warning for Philadelphia. So Sussex County, Delaware, just to give you the latest on this one, this is a little bit outside of our viewing area, but it is moving into an area where we do have viewers. So 8:15, that tornado warning in effect for Sussex County. Conditions in Philadelphia have improved. Again, there's flash flood warnings in effect for Delaware County, Montgomery County, and into parts of South Jersey, Gloucester County now, and into, looks like, Salem County as well. That flash flood warning through 10:30. I do expect it to be a long and tough day. So if any new tornado warnings break out, we'll be back to show them to you. But right now in our viewing area, the only tornado warning we have is just south of that area, and that's in Sussex County, Delaware. We will continue to watch that storm. Again, please be careful today. If you can stay inside your house, that's the best plan. We will be back with any updates in terms of severe weather if it breaks out. And of course, will be updates on KYW News Radio 1060, NBC10.com, and right here on NBC10 throughout the day. And good morning to you. We're breaking into the Today Show because we have more severe weather in our area. Of importance, this tornado warning just issued for Kent County, Delaware. So our Delaware audience, we're watching this thunderstorm that has potentially a rain-wrapped tornado, the signature of tornado right here, moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. So again, this storm system has a rain-wrapped tornado. There's not a lot of lightning with this, so you will not hear it coming. Kent County, Delaware, we have a tornado warning until 9 a.m. So let's put a storm track on this. Storm is moving to the north at 40 miles per hour, and you'll be able to see that the storm is going to be in the following communities: 829 in Harrington, 840 Riverview, 848 Camden, Delaware, that is, 854 Dover, 859 in Cheswold. So again, this storm system moving north. This is the outer rain bands of Tropical Storm Isaias, and this is the part that can produce tornadoes, this arc right here. So we are not done with this. This is the first of probably what will be many. These are not huge tornadoes, but they can cause damage. They quickly spin up and then they quickly fizzle out. So again, until the storm clears, we will be on the air with you again to walk you through this. So I'm going to step off the screen, see if there's any information. This is a radar indicated tornado, meaning it has not been seen by anyone, but our radar, there's another tornado warning that just popped up too. So, all right, let's give you the latest on this one. Tornado warning now for Sussex County until 8:45. We have a thunderstorm producing a potential tornado. Again, these are radar indicated tornadoes. The radar is looking for winds blowing toward the radar and away from the radar. And if they see that, if the radar sees that right next to each other, that's an indication that there's some spin in the atmosphere and a potential tornado. So what I'm going to do is flip it over to our velocity mode and show you. Okay, sorry, we have a little couplet here. So this is potentially where we're dealing with a tornado. Again, we are looking at the storm moving to the north at 40. So I'm going to put a storm track on that. Moving north at 40, it will be impacting the following communities. As we put the storm cone on this storm again, this is potentially a rain-wrapped tornado moving north at 40 miles per hour. So it looks like Miners Corners, 825, Berrytown, 830, 834 Petersburg, 836 Woodside, 838 Burwood. So again, we're breaking on the air right now to give you a big picture. If you're just joining us, watching the Today Show, we have a very active morning going on right now. We have ongoing tornado warnings. We've already had tornado warnings in Philadelphia County, in Delaware County, parts of Montgomery County. We have more tornado warnings right now in Delaware, and we have a lot of flash flooding happening. So it's a very tough morning in terms of the rainfall. So again, if you live in these towns, and I picked up the wrong clicker, hate when that happens. Here we go, get the right clicker, and we'll be able to show you the rainfall. So if you are in the path of this tornado, you want to be away from windows. You definitely want to be in the inner part of your room, and that will be the best spot to be. So it looks like, all right, let's see if my computer here. This happens when you put the computers to a lot of work. All right, here we go. You can see tornado warning central Delaware now till 9 o'clock. This tornado warning in Sussex County until 8:45 this morning. Again, these are radar indicated tornadoes. If you should get damage in your community, if you could please share those photos once the storm is safely cleared your area. See it, share it on the NBC10 app. A super important thing to have on a day like this. So again, tornado warning for this area, including the city of Dover. Until 9 o'clock this morning, we have that tornado warning. Another problem that we have today, and this will be for more communities in terms of impact. This is a widespread scale of flash flooding potential here, severe. We don't say that often, so our messaging tone is definitely, we're hitting this harder today, and that's because we are concerned about the potential of some severe flash flooding across parts of Chester County, Berks County, and Lehigh County. The reason why we're so confident that this will happen is we are anticipating 6 inches of rainfall in this area, which already had about 6 inches in a couple hours back over the weekend. So with that kind of rainfall, you're going to get some big problems. So let's walk you through the hour by hour. No computer model, honestly, is depicting this accurately, but this gives you the best idea of what's going on. This rain will continue to fill in. So we have rain, severe thunderstorms potentially through 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. This band will be in and around Philadelphia 11 a.m. to noon. And then behind it, the winds are going to really howl. So about 2 hours of very strong winds, potentially 50 to 60 miles per hour from Philadelphia, northern Delaware, down into South Jersey. The wind not as big of a threat. You're on that western side of the storm. The western side of the storm is rain. Eastern side of the storm is more on the focus of wind and isolated tornadoes. If it sounds complicated, there's a lot of layers to this forecast today, and that's why we're trying to break it down for you. So again, the tornado threat today, highest in and around Philadelphia. You see this yellow shading. This is the high end of the scale. This is not typically where we're at in central South Jersey, all the way down to Cape May. Hop over Delaware Bay into Delaware, where we're seeing those tornadoes right now. So what I'm going to do is check some information. I'm going to see if Tracy Davidson has any new info. We've had flooding across the area and some water rescues.
We have had water rescues and roads closed. And we do want to remind you that if you're under a tornado warning, find safe shelter right away. Again, we have one right now for central Delaware till 9, but Steve expects them to continue to pop up. Now, if you're under a tornado warning, if you can get safely to a sturdy building, do that. Go to a safe room, maybe a basement, a storm cellar in your home. If you're in a building with no basement, get to a small interior room on the lowest level, and obviously stay away from any windows or doors or outside walls. Do not get under an overpass or a bridge. Because if you're safer in a low, flat location than something like that, obviously watch out for flying debris that can cause injury or death. We've been talking about the gusty winds. And use your arms to protect your head and your neck.
So, Tracy, I have some new information for all of our audience in Bucks County. A new tornado warning here. We said this is going to happen. We're going to have multiple tornado warnings. This is what's happening. So if you live in Bedminster, the Doylestown area, over to just east of Hilltown, we have a tornado warning now till 8:45. You need to be away from your windows. I know it's a very stormy morning. It's, normally kind of cool to look at this stuff, but not in this case. This is a potentially rain-wrapped tornado impacting areas of Bucks County. So what I'm going to do, since this is such brand new warning, is try to get you the information on what communities will be impacted by this potential rain-wrapped tornado.
Hey, Steve, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you talk about rain-wrapped, so we're just going to see, is that why you're saying we're just going to see rain when we might not hear it coming?
Yeah. So if we can punch up any of our live cameras right now, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You can't see it because the cloud deck is so low, it obscures it.
Okay.
So basically it's not visible. It just comes in a sheet of rain. It doesn't last too long. These are not like some of our tornadoes that we get in the month of May or June, where they'll be on the ground for a long time. These tend to be brief spin-ups. They can have winds of 70, 80, sometimes 90 miles per hour, pull some shingles off your home, but also can take twigs and stuff like that and put it into your windows, which is why it's a hazard. So this is a live look right now from our view there. I believe this is our presidential camera looking there at the Boulevard and the Schuylkill Expressway where they meet. That is some low overcast. And in this, you can't really see the tornado. In May and June, sometimes those storms don't have much rain wrapped around that tornado, and so you can actually see it coming at you. You can't see it in this case. This is a live look at Cape May, New Jersey. Cape May, you've been spared the worst so far, but your storm really ramps up here in the next couple of hours as that northern band of Isaias comes in our direction. Again, 8:26 in the morning. If you're just joining us, we have some severe weather in our area right now. A couple of things happening. We have flash flood warnings across much of our northern and western suburbs where flood rescues are going on as we speak. You need to be off the roads. If you have friends or family that want to travel today, tell them to put it off until after about 4 o'clock this afternoon. After 4 o'clock, things get better, but between now and 4, we have a real rough go of some severe weather. So again, the latest in what will be probably more tornado warnings issued throughout the morning until 8:45 a.m. in Bucks County. Just some rain right now in and around King of Prussia. This is not severe. As we take a look at the flash flood threat, again, our northern and western suburbs, this is greatest. So since we have a couple of tornado warnings happening right now, what I want to do is put the storm track on to let those communities know who are in the potential path of this tornado. So the storm in Bucks County is moving north at 35 miles per hour. Now, they may cancel this warning, and if they do so, you'll see this warning go away. So actually, I'm on max 2 here. Somebody's trying to get on here. Could you please not? Thank you. All right, so we have that storm moving to the north at 35 miles per hour. And we'll put a storm cone on that, 35 miles per hour. We'll leave the following communities in the path of, again, this radar indicated tornado. If you see a tornado, in terms of damage, please send us those pictures. And here's your storm tracker time. So New Britain, 8:28, 8:43 in Bedminster. That's when this potential tornado gets into your area. Haycock, 8:49. Knockemixon up in northern Bucks County, 8:54. And Holland, 9 o'clock. Again, potential communities in the path of this rain-wrapped tornado. Notice there's also a red box underneath. That's a flash flood warning. So in addition to a potential tornado, you are seeing dangerous flash flooding happening across the area. So this is our one in Bucks County. We also have more tornadic thunderstorms in Delaware, the state of Delaware right now. So kind of 2 pockets that we have our eyes on, Bucks County and Delaware. So what I'm going to do is zoom out. You see the huge area of maroon color. That's the flash flood warning. And here are your Delaware tornado warnings right now. We actually have 3. So to break them down for you, we have a tornado warning now for this part of Kent County. Again, these are quick, fast-moving, potentially rain-wrapped tornadoes. You want to be in the lowest floor of your home away from windows. 9 a.m., that tornado warning in effect. The storm is moving northwest at 55. So the other part of this is these storms move really quickly. So if you do get warned, you really need to take those actions because that storm can barrel down on you in about little time. So you don't have a whole lot of time to prepare for these as these fast-moving rain bands continue to move on. So what I'm going to do right now is, again, turn our radar over to velocity mode. What that is the radar has different channels. This one, we are looking at the wind direction to see if we can see any of those potentially rain-wrapped tornadoes. So flipping it over to velocity mode, this is the storm that's being warned right now. You can see it's a small circulation. That one is moving out of Kent County, but Sandtown, you are in the threat of that damaging winds. You need to be in the lowest floor of your home. Now, it looks like into Kent County, we have potentially a tornado warning there, too, for this circulation that you see right down here in central Sussex County. So, again, 2 tornado warnings there. This is the Bucks County potential tornado. It is, we'll go down the street level here, just north of 113. So again, this is a potentially rain-wrapped tornado. Let's put a storm track on this. Again, this is the radar indicating that there is rotation in this thunderstorm and that these communities to the west of Bedminster are in the path of this storm. So putting a storm plot on here, moving north at 40 miles per hour. We'll see who is in danger of this potential tornado. Zoom out, put the storm track on here. So moving to the north at 40. All right, Knockemixon, 839, 841, Bursonville, 845, Holland, Regalsville, up the top northeast corner of Bucks County. You have that tornado warning again through 9 o'clock. We're watching this part of the storm right here. This is where there's a small but intense spin up of wind, and it looks like they may have dropped that tornado warning. So their radar scan may have shown that this tornado threat has since passed. Continues tornado warning. Okay, sorry, I'm just in real-time information. Let me toss it over to Tracy, and I'm going to collect some more information on this storm to see if this tornado warning is still in effect.
All right, Steve, thanks. I know that NBC10 meteorologist Bill Henley has also been tracking the storm. Bill, can you bring us up to speed as well?
Yes, absolutely. We're tracking multiple threats this morning, as Steve has been telling you. And one of them is a tornado warning that is in northern Bucks County. You can see it here just to the north of Percy. And that is going to be in effect for another 14 14 minutes. This is a storm, as Steve mentioned. It's a radar-wrapped tornado, or potentially a tornado. This is a dangerous storm with some very heavy rain. If you're within this area, this is a time to take shelter. Normally, you can see it outside because stuff will be moving sideways. That's the time to go into the lowest part of your house. If you have a basement, great. If not, just the lowest level in your home and an interior room as well. Don't be looking out a window with a storm like this. A tornado warning in effect until 8:45 this morning. This is a potentially dangerous storm. Much of the area is under a tornado watch today as Tropical Storm Isaias comes our way, and some of the heaviest rainfall is to the south, and that's where we have more threats of tornadoes, more warnings going on. Look at that heavy rain that's moving towards Dover right now. As far as the tornado threat, well, we're tracking 3 of them currently in Delaware. One tornado is potentially moving towards Maryland. That tornado warning in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. And then another tornado that is heading towards Dover, and that is in effect until also 9 o'clock. And just to the west of Long Neck, heading towards northern Sussex County, a tornado warning in effect until 8:45. So multiple threats. In fact, about an hour ago, we were seeing these types of storms pop up just to the south of Delaware. Well, the whole system itself is moving to the north. So this is the kind of threat we're going to be facing not only right now, but for much of the morning. There's a potential for more severe weather as that band that is moving through Delaware right now heads into northern Newcastle County and into South Jersey as well. The tornado threat will extend into South Jersey, and there's a tornado watch in effect for all of the counties in southeastern Pennsylvania that we consider to be the Pennsylvania suburbs: Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, Bucks, and Philadelphia, and that's until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Once again, we're looking at rain coming in with Tropical Storm Isaias that is going to be drenching us this morning, and not only bringing the threat of flooding, but also bringing the threat of severe weather in the forms of severe thunderstorms with damaging winds, but also the tornado threat. So once again, let's take a look at that tornado possibility. A potential tornado with the radar popping up shows that heaviest rainfall right now. It's moving to the north at about 35 miles an hour. Some of the heaviest rainfall is right near Bedminster currently. And let's take a look at the shear. Now, the shear is the wind within the storm that is capable of producing a tornado. You can see how that has spread into the Bedminster area. So be on the lookout. This is not a storm system that you want to mess around with. Bedminster, Haycock, Nockamixon, you're all in the path of this potentially severe storm and the potential for a tornado. We're still in that tornado warning. It's got another 11 minutes to go, but this is a storm that may very well survive and head into the Lehigh Valley. You can see Easton is just to the north. Hellertown getting some very heavy rain right now as well. So we have these threats, these current threats, but also we've seen tremendous rainfall over the last 6, 7, 8 hours. And this is producing potential for flooding in the areas. Many neighborhoods have already picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain. And Tracy, more is on the way.
All right, Bill, thanks. We already gave you the advice if you're in your home and you are watching this and we are listing your town or your neighborhood as an area that is covered by this tornado warning, what to do. If you're outside, try to get to a vehicle, buckle your seatbelt, try to drive to the closest sturdy shelter. Obviously, if you're hit by any flying debris while you're out driving, pull over and park. Speaking of driving, I just texted with Sheila Wacko. She's seeing reduced visibility on the roads, ponding, multiple crashes. If you're in your car and you're in the path of a tornado, stay in the car, put your head down below the windows, just as we were saying if you're in a home. Get away from the windows as best you can. If you have a blanket in your car or a coat, other cushion, put that over your head so that you can stay safe.
Tracy, I have some new information for you. So we were talking about radar-indicated tornadoes in Delaware, but just over the state line in Maryland, one of these tornadoes was confirmed in Queen Anne's County. And in fact, a vehicle was flipped over by this tornado that actually made it to the ground. It was a confirmed tornado seen by multiple people in the state of Maryland, which is just over the border from Delaware, which we do have these tornado-warned storms. So we have now had confirmation of a tornado just outside of our viewing area. So you need to take these warnings seriously. Again, wind strong enough that could flip over a car. good enough reason to stay home and away from windows. And the roads, even outside of any potential tornado activity, are a problem right now. We're seeing a lot of flash flooding across the area. Again, the current tornado warning, if you're watching us from northern Bucks County, and then we have some in Delaware. The problem with this, if you're just joining us at 8:36 in the morning, we have a very busy morning ahead of us in terms of flash flooding, in terms of potential tornado activity. This is the northern end of Tropical Storm. And as it moves to the north, we are going to be seeing more potential tornadoes. So again, we're going to be watching this northern band of the center of the tropical storm moving up to the north. And as it does so, we will probably see more tornado warnings. So it's just going to be one of those days that we're going to have to be breaking in a lot because of the potential tornadic activity, which is of imminent danger. If you're under a tornado warning, that means either the radar is seeing a tornado coming at you or one has been observed. So you need to take these warnings seriously, get to the lowest floor of your home and away from windows. So let's get a latest scan on our radar to show you where these thunderstorms are at this hour. We are looking at thunderstorms right now that are basically covering almost the entire viewing area. To give you the wide perspective, there you go. Look at all that heavy rain that we have now across areas of the Pennsylvania suburbs through northern Delaware right now. If there is a piece of good information, which I think a lot of you want some good news right now, it's that the back edge of the storm is just down here in southern Delaware. So several more hours of this to go. It will be a rough several hours, but this will have an earlier departure time too. So about 3-4 o'clock, things will start to get better from south to north. So conditions in Delaware will get better before they do up in the northern part of our viewing area. Multiple warnings in effect right now. The problem that we have at the moment, again, is potentially a rain-wrapped tornado. So there's the storm system right now. And so we will put the storm track on here, moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. We'll take it basically out of our viewing area fairly soon. Fountainville, 841, 844 in Hilltown, 846 Percy. Again, we've had an observed tornado just over the state line in Maryland. You got to take these storms seriously. This is just one of probably many tornado warnings that we're going to have during the day today as we have this tropical storm moving up the coastline. So what we're going to do is flip it back over to radar and show you the communities that have tornado warnings down in Delaware. So let's do that for you right now. Looking at the state of Delaware, Kent County and Sussex County are the problem spots. Newcastle County, you do not have a tornado warning yet, but the storm in Kent County is moving in your direction. So you need to be prepared within the next hour that this storm may be coming your way. This storm is also moving at 40 miles per hour. So let's put a storm cone on this one. Again, the potential rotating thunderstorm right here. Storm track time for you is 8:39 in Harrington, 8:50 Riverview, 8:59 in Camden, 9:04 Dover, 9:18 in Smyrna. Again, if this would hold together, these things can what we call cycle through. So it produces a tornado or a radar indicated tornado. It lifts, goes away, and then cycles through and again produces a potential tornado again. So just because the warning may be canceled doesn't mean that you're necessarily done with it. It's just one of those kinds of scenarios. So back to the radar picture right now, and we'll show you the big picture of what's going on across the area. Multiple warnings, flash flood warning now for areas of Montgomery County. So we've seen that area of Montgomery County with a lot of water rescues. This is the other big problem. In addition to tornadoes, flash flooding takes more lives than tornadoes do. So that's a concern. So if you can stay off the road, the better. If you are driving, if you're encountering floodwaters, you turn around. You don't know how deep that water is. That water may take your car. It only takes a few feet of moving water to lift your car and take it away. So again, we'll watch this as the rain continues to add up. Down at the Jersey Shore, you've been spared up until now. I'm concerned about these storms that are moving toward you in Cape May and into Cape May County. These storms do have a history of rotation and producing tornadoes. So we will watch that Cape May County. No warning yet, but it's on your doorstep. Again, this tornado producing storm down in Delaware is moving to the north at about 40 miles per hour, just west of Lewis, Delaware. So Lewis, you're not in that warning, but to the west you are. So from Sussex County, Delaware, bottom half of the state up into Kent County, Dover, you're still in that tornado warning till 9 a.m. So it's 8:41. We have about 19 more minutes left of that warning. So the rainfall, again, is a problem. Central New Jersey, you have not seen much in the way of activity. You are under a tornado watch through 4 o'clock this afternoon. You have to be on the lookout for rapidly changing conditions. So if we could take a look at some of our live cameras across the area, that would be helpful too, because like I said, The visibility varies from place to place. We are seeing conditions change rapidly. In fact, Wilmington's seeing some of the driving downpours, and I'm actually looking at the Cape May camera right now. If you could pull that up. Cape May, we showed that rainfall coming into your direction. Look at it, sheets of rain. And this kind of rainfall that you're seeing on the camera has been falling in our suburbs for hours and hours. And you can see how heavy it is. That's causing a lot of problems. So even in Cape May, where we're not expecting a lot in terms of flash flooding, you still can get some with the rainfall rates at probably 2 to 4 inches per hour. In fact, let's do that. Let's plot some of the rainfall to show you how heavy and blinding some of these downpours are. And coming into Cape May County, 1.5 to 2 inches per hour. So again, you can get some flash flooding with that. As we take a look at the area that is of greatest concern, Chester County, down into areas of Newcastle County, into Montgomery County, this area has seen the most rain. You're seeing flooding right now. You still probably have another 2, 3, maybe 4 inches of rain to go on top of what you've already seen. So again, the roads are pretty much a nightmare, confirmed by our traffic reporting. And so you really don't want to be out on the roads if possible. Again, it's a dangerous situation, not just inconvenient, dangerous. Your car could be swept away by floodwaters if you're not careful. Philadelphia right now, you've seen some rain. You have not seen the worst of this. We are waiting for that next rain band to come. So it's just a matter of time before this pivots through. As I said, the good news, the storm system is putting its foot on the gas. It's basically moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour and will be out of here by 4 o'clock. But between now and then, we have a tough day of weather. We don't have this a lot in a year. Today's one of those days. You have to stay weather aware, and that's important. Tracy, do you have any new information?
Well, I just wanted, you were talking about the road conditions, and they are deteriorating, especially in some areas like Philadelphia. Here's what I got from Sheila Wacko, that there are delays in both directions of the Schuylkill between the Conchie Curve and Gladwin. There is flooding along the Schuylkill, much slower on the westbound side. She also says there's a crash on eastbound Pennsylvania Turnpike between Morgantown and Downingtown, blocking the right lane. Debris on the road across the area. They have lanes blocked on westbound Valley Road into different. It's interesting. I just had a friend ask, should I drive to King of Prussia right now? And I said, absolutely not, because we continue to see these bands of heavy rain come in and reduce visibility. You don't know. We know that there are roads are closed left and right. And I just saw another water rescue come in Bryn Mawr. So
Tracy, we have some new information now. Sandtown in Kent County, Delaware. The 911 call center has reported a tornado. It looks like on Sandtown Road. It looks like we've now had a reported tornado down in Kent County, Sandtown. That is one of the places that we were looking at with that potentially radar indicated tornado, now confirmed by spotters. So that means a tornado on the ground. You need to be away from windows. We've seen cars flipped over in the state of Maryland, just over the border here in Queen Anne County. You do not want to be on the roadways. This is a dangerous situation. We just want to get the word out here. This is not one of your typical weather days. We say flash flooding a lot during the course of a summer. This is the high end of the scale. You need to be off the roadways. Don't be traveling. Significant delays. If you can wait till after 4 o'clock, there's some residual river and stream flooding. But the rest of the flooding will go down very quickly. It's just a matter of time. You got to wait it out. If you live near a river or stream, it's pouring in Berks County right now. It's the last thing we want to see. We saw some horrific flooding on Sunday morning where you saw 6 inches of rain in about 2 hours worth of time. And that caused some really, really terrible flooding up in Berks County. And now it's raining again with 3 to 6 inches of rain expected with isolated 8-inch totals. So breaking it all down for you, 8:45 in the morning. We have tornado warnings still happening in the state of Delaware. The storm system moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. The warning for Bucks County has expired, or actually it was canceled. So the Bucks County situation has gotten better in terms of the tornado potential, still really bad in terms of flooding. Flash flood warnings in and around the Philadelphia area, down into South Jersey. It's now this storm down here. So what I'm going to do is put a storm cone on this one, moving up to the north at 40 miles per hour. Actually, I'm going to redraw that here. And do that one more time, because the part of the storm potentially producing a tornado is right here. So what I'm going to do one more time is draw that storm cone right here, and moving north at 40 miles per hour. So again, we've had reports of a confirmed tornado on the ground in Kent County near Sandtown. You have to take the storm seriously. It has a history of producing damage. 849 in Harrington. 8:56 in Milford, 9:08 Camden, 9:14 Dover, 9:28 Smyrna. You don't want to be at your windows looking at this. This is potentially a rain-wrapped tornado, meaning you'll never see it coming at you. It just looks like clouds and rain, and then all of a sudden you're being pelted by 70 to 90 mile per hour winds that can shatter glass. That can also cause some trees to come down, and that's always a dangerous situation. So again, this is going to be a long morning. We are just at the beginning of the tornado threat, really, that's moving through the state of Delaware. We've had tornado warnings up in Bucks County. We had an earlier warning for Philadelphia County. We are not clear of the tornado threat till this part of the storm passes by. That's the northern edge of the center of the storm. Once that passes by, any tornado threat will be over. In addition to the tornado threat, everybody in Pennsylvania, northern Delaware, central Delaware, has a flash flood threat. A lot of rain coming out of this. This is a tropical system, meaning that when it rains, it pours, and the rain is blinding and can be quite troublesome in terms of flash flooding. So again, that's the latest for you that we have this morning. The good news, that Bucks County storm now no longer tornadic, but again, we're watching all these storms down by the shore to see if they show any kinds of rotation. So we will clear that off the screen. I'm going to go check some storm reports. Tracy, over to you.
Sure, and I want to give you an update on what Sheila Wacko is telling me about the commute. Obviously, we have problems on the roads with flooding and poor visibility. You can see that in that live picture we have right there. I can also tell you that Paoli-Thorndale line of SEPTA Regional Rail heading to Jefferson Station 40 minutes late right now. Heavy rain falling in Wilmington, Newcastle County this morning. This is a live look at I-95. You see a lot of people out on the roads right now, but we continue to hear about ponding and accidents, crashes around the area. We also have debris down that's blocking some lanes in some areas. I think we have video we want to show you from Wilmington. Here's that video. This is from Wilmington. More than 3 inches of rain has fallen so far. And look at that, storm runoff flowing into the Brandywine Creek, causing it to rise. And again, all of the area, streams and rivers are rising with this heavy rain coming down, causing troubles on the roads, as we've been saying, as we continue to watch these warnings pop up across the area. Let's talk with NBC10 First Alert traffic reporter Sheila Wacko. Sheila, give us an overview of what this is like.
Yeah, Tracy, it's pretty bad out there. We've seen a really rough morning since early this morning. It's not gotten better. You can see all these rainy conditions out there, 95 at the Girard Point Bridge. It's very, very wet, lower visibility. There's fog in some areas. We are slow on the westbound Schuylkill, still going through that Conchie curve. Drive times have improved a bit. We're still about 15 minutes in both directions between the Vine and the Blue Route. Plus, on the westbound Schuylkill, they still have construction out there that's still slowing us down. They did not clear this up. This is blocking the right lane, so only the left lane's getting by between University and the Vine. That is causing backups down past Gray's Ferry. That on-ramp from University Avenue is also closed. Taking a wider look at the region, you can see actually our 95 northbound crash has cleared up, so you're not seeing a delay anymore between Cottman and Academy. But on 95 southbound, once you get to Naaman's Road, that off-ramp is closed there due to flooding. We'll look at some more mass transit delays because regional rail is just kind of messed up across the whole line. Paoli-Thorndale in the opposite direction, if you're heading to Thorndale, is 23 minutes late, and Norristown to the Elwyn station is up to 15 minutes late. Tracy, back to you.
All right, Sheila, keep us posted. Now let's check in with NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley. Bill?
Tracy, we're seeing the impacts of Tropical Storm Isaias come our way, and some of the heaviest rainfall, as Steve has mentioned, is just moving through central Delaware right now. And this is where we're tracking the severe weather, and that is a tornado warning that is still in effect that is tracking some of that heavy rainfall in the area moving towards Delaware. You can see it on the radar. The alert shows this storm system coming through with the potential for more severe thunderstorms. Now, we saw this threat as that line of very heavy rainfall moved to the south, moved into Delaware a while ago, and now that severe line threat has come right into Delaware, and this line of very heavy rainfall is moving to the north. So that is going to be spreading into parts of South Jersey and northern Newcastle County a little later this morning. So there's a lot more of this storm ahead. And not only is there a threat of severe weather and tornadoes, but we've seen some very heavy rainfall In fact, those are flood warnings, flash flood warnings that are in effect for parts of the area where we've already seen more than 2 to 3 inches of rain, and the heavy rainfall is going to be coming into the area as we go into the late morning and afternoon hours. Now, a tornado watch is in effect until noontime today for much of the area. Look at that heavy rainfall that's coming in. This tropical storm Isaias is still spinning to our south. You can see that heavy rainfall is to our south. That's the center of the system that is just starting to cross the Chesapeake and heading toward Delaware, and that is forecast to come right over Philadelphia during the early afternoon hours. And when that happens, you'll see a big wind shift. And notice, too, that the heaviest rainfall is coming in advance of the center of that storm. So the rain will be tapering off once that happens. So that's something to look forward to. But until then, we have hours of this heavy rainfall and the potential for more severe weather coming into the area. And again, let's take a look, go right back and show you the severe plot, which is showing the flash flood warnings in the area. The flash flood warnings for our area include parts of Montgomery County and Bucks County as well, even into the Lehigh Valley. These are the flash flood warnings that are in effect. The one that is covering portions of Chester and into Delaware County and just across into northwestern Gloucester County, that one is set to expire at 10:30 this morning. And the one to the north that includes portions of central Montgomery County, much of western Bucks County, and into the Lehigh Valley doesn't expire until 12:15. This is an area that's seen some heavy rainfall, and the heaviest rain is still to the south. Now, coming with severe weather, frequently you'll get hail. We're not spotting any of that in our area this morning, but the potential for tornadoes will be with us as the entire area is under a tornado watch, or most of the entire area is under a tornado watch until later today. Tracy?
All right, Bill, thanks so much. We've been talking about the roads. We want to remind you that if you get caught outside in a tornado, make sure you get into your vehicle and stay safe there. Steve, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, so we have some new reports coming in, obviously, as this tropical storm Isaias moves to the north. We have some damage now near Rehoboth Beach. So south of Rehoboth towards Long Neck in Delaware. Traffic lights are out, several tree limbs are down, and one tree down. So an entire tree down in Sussex County, Delaware. So down near the beaches, which obviously is a very popular place this time of year with the Philadelphia community throughout the summer. So we are seeing that wind, the real strong wind gusts working from south to north. You're seeing those wind gusts now, 46-mile-per-hour winds in Georgetown. That's a gust, but we've seen now tropical storm force winds. So the sustained wind at 40 miles per hour in parts of Delaware now. So this is now where we're starting to get into the wind element of the storm. We've had the rain, we've had some isolated tornadoes. Now we have the wind issue to deal with. This is the final element of the storm, but again, that's going to take some time to move up toward the north. So let's recap you right now and get you situated with your warnings to show you what's going on, because there is a lot going on right now on this Tuesday morning. So there you go. You have your flash flood warnings in the maroon shading in and around Philadelphia, the suburbs. We still have an ongoing tornado warning in the state of Delaware. So what I'm going to do is turn this over to the radar. It's with this storm right now. It's moving to the north at 45 miles per hour. So we're going to put a storm cone on this because we're not out of the woods yet. Kent County, we've been talking about you for a long time. Don't let that get your guard down. We need to have your tornado plan in place, away from windows in the lowest floor of your home. That storm moving to the north at about 45 miles per hour. Latest track on that storm, 901 Riverview, 905 Woodside, 908 Camden, 913 Dover. If you're around these communities too, please get into your safe place, which is a basement or interior room. We've seen a car flipped over just over the border in the state of Maryland with a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is a serious situation. This is going to be an ongoing situation between flooding and the potential of a tornado. So again, we're going to be talking about this a lot today. I don't want you to become annoyed by it. You got to really focus in on the information. We have had some damage go on across the area. The roads are a mess, and you need to act when we get these warnings. We don't get many days like this. today is one of those days that you got to be ready to go. So tornado warning in effect till 9 a.m. in central Delaware, moving to the north at 40 miles per hour. That's a new tornado warning right before your eyes. So let's put some information on that. Wow, that is a very impressive signature. So what I'm looking at right now to let you know is we're looking at rotation in the thunderstorm. This is kind of like your radio has different channels. So does our radar. This is the wind channel that we're looking at. And there you go. You can see red blowing away from the radar, green blowing toward the radar. When they're really next to each other like that, the winds are rotating. So this is a strong signature, very strong signature. I'm going to step off camera, see what speed the storm is moving, just so I can put an accurate track on. But if you are in the Dover area, you need to be away from windows and the lowest floor of your home. This is a serious situation. This is a very strong signature. And we have that tornado moving northwest at 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to edit the storm cone to 50, and we'll put that plot on for you again. This is a dangerous storm. We've had tornado confirmations now just over the border, and also in Kent County, too. I don't want to disregard that. Kent County, we've had already reports of a tornado. So here's that storm. And let's put a path on it for you. Okay. So.
And Steve, while you're getting that up, I just want to say the National Weather Service just said tornado warning, including Dover, Middletown, Smyrna, until 9:30 now.
Right. So the circulation is right here. You see where this red, very bright signature, it shows the winds are very strong. You don't want to see that. Moving to the northwest at 50. So this is the tornado warning. So let's plot that on here to the north and west. These are the towns. You got to take this seriously. 859 in Kent Acres, 859 Rodney Village. This is for you in Kent County, including the city of Dover. You do not want to be on the roads right now. They are a mess in their own regard in terms of the flooding. Now we have potentially damaging winds and a tornado. So far, this is radar indicated, meaning our radar has seen this. But based on what I'm seeing on this radar, this is a very impressive image. You need to be on the lookout. If you see this tornado, you do not want to go toward it. You definitely want to go into an interior room away from windows to the basement. And if you have damage after this storm clears you, please take some photos and send it, see it, share it on the NBC10 app. And then we can get that information out to you. But again, we've had a couple of confirmed tornadoes already this morning. Here's another one. And it looks like, I think another new box just came up. So let's put that on here. Yep, we have another tornado warning. So we told you it was going to be a busy morning. It's turning out that way. We have multiple tornado warnings across our viewing area right now, honing in on the state of Delaware. There's actually two different storms that are potentially producing a tornado. So you see two boxes. That means two different thunderstorms are being monitored for the potential tornado. So tornado warning in effect for Kent. And actually, this goes into Newcastle County. So remember in Newcastle, we were telling you to watch out for this storm. There was no warning for you at the time. Now there's a warning for you. So let's get the latest on that storm in Newcastle County, moving to the northwest at 50 miles per hour. So again, it's moving at the same speed. So we'll get that track on for you in Newcastle County. But some of the town communities that are in the potential path of this tornado, again, this is the box that we want to focus in on, is areas like Smyrna. We're going to zoom in. Really, the beauty of this touchscreen is we can go in and get the community. So Chambersville, Brick Store, Smyrna. Let's go even in tighter. Again, you can see all Brick Store, Smyrna. Let's go even in tighter. Again, you can see all the residential communities in here. Walker, Tent. You need to be taking cover. You want to be in your safe place right now. Again, this storm is moving at 50 miles per hour towards the north and to the west. So what we're going to do, zoom out, and then we're going to zoom in to this storm in Delaware right now. Kent County under the gun, southern Newcastle County under the gun. Storm is moving at 50 miles per hour. What you need to know, you probably will not be able to see this tornado. Putting the storm track on for you. Northwest at 50, 904 in Dover, 910 Cheswold, 917 Smyrna, 926 Townsend, 9:30 in Odessa. Again, this storm is moving to the northwest at 50 miles per hour. We have two tornado warnings within the same county for two different storms. So back to the big picture to show you what's going on here. Again, there's a lot going on. To break it down for you, we have flash flooding going on in our Pennsylvania suburbs right now, north and west of Philadelphia. That continues right down into Delaware County, so right along the blue route there. And if you're listening to us on KYW News Radio, we also have some conditions that are not great for driving. So you want to stay off the roads if possible. If you're on the roads and encounter dangerous weather, you want to pull off to the side of the road, put your hazard lights on. This is a dangerous situation. We've seen a car flipped over by a tornado in the state of Maryland, just over the line from Delaware. Again, no tornado warnings right now in Pennsylvania, but this will change as this part of the storm moves to the north and west. And this just updated before your eyes, so this is real time. We canceled off one of the tornado warnings. Excellent news. Now we're focusing in on that storm in Kent County moving into Newcastle County. Again, Newcastle County to the north of Dover, you want to be away from windows and you don't want to be outside in this case as damaging winds and a potential tornado come in. We're going to do another storm track and I'll turn it over to Tracy while we get the storm track together.
All right, Steve, thanks. It's 9:02. We are on the air because this is serious. These are serious storms as we continue to see tornado warnings pop up. We have flash flood warnings. Most of our entire area is under a tornado watch until midday. Let's take you and show you some pictures, live pictures. This is 95, and we can tell you that we've been watching the roads all day, all morning. We have ponding, we have flooding, we have debris on the roads. Sheila Waco is reporting crashes and, again, debris on the roads, ponding. You can see just from our camera that there is poor visibility. This is a live look at Wilmington as we've been talking about those flash flood warnings and the tornado warnings in Kent and Newcastle counties. This is 76 at Route 1 again. NBC10 First Alert traffic reporter Sheila Waco has been monitoring the roads for us. If you don't need to be out right now, especially in the area where we've been showing you where these storms are, don't. Just take it easy because this is serious. And this is why we're on the air, because we want you and your family to be safe. Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is also monitoring what's happening. Glenn?
Yeah, Tracy, as Steve was saying, we already have tornado warnings. We've had some. There have been confirmed tornadoes to our south. And we want to remind you about what to do if there is a tornado warning for your area. They're no longer just issue warnings for entire counties. It goes by zip code now. So if you get that alert on your phone, the warning is for your zip code. And that means to go to a central room or basement, lowest floor, high-rise buildings into a bathroom. The plumbing helps keep everything intact. Stay away from windows and keep your head covered. Now, we've had those tornado warnings. There will be more, as Steve was mentioning. These tornadoes move extremely fast, which would mean that they don't last very long. Maybe a matter of a few minutes. But there has been damage and there can very well be damage with these. And take a look at the radar and you'll see that the center of the storm overall is already up through Chesapeake Bay. It's moving to the north. It's now moving at 33 miles an hour. Right over Philadelphia. So what does that mean? Everything came in early. It's going to leave early. So this is not the time to be on the roads. And if you have plans over the next few hours, go ahead and cancel them. But if you're stuck in a building right now and you're tempted to want to go home and get supposedly safe, you're putting yourself in more danger because this is the most dangerous time of the day from now until at least noon. And we're talking about, aside from tornadoes, life-threatening flash flooding. People can die today. May very well happen because of doing the wrong thing on the road. Do not try to drive through flooded roads. As the saying is, turn around, don't drown. Late today, conditions will be improved dramatically. So you don't have to stay hunkered down for a whole day. Just in the next few hours are key. Tracy.
Right, because we want to stay safe, Glenn. Thanks so much. Let's talk to Steve Sosna. He has a really close-up view of what's happening just south of Smyrna.
Yeah, so Tracy, the radar updates, almost every couple of minutes, and we get a new scan. And actually, now the scan looks a little less impressive, but it's been going back and forth between looking like a tornado on the ground to kind of loosely looking like just some damaging winds. But that happens in these tropical storms. As Glenn mentioned, these things cycle through. So we're not done with it just yet, and we still have this tornado warning in effect. But what's left of the circulation is here, and there still may be a tornado with this storm. We're going to draw that track to the north and west. Again, storm is moving at 50 miles per hour. So this is the latest scan of our radar. We are concerned for Cheswold, 9:06. This potential rain-wrapped tornado arrives. 9:10 in Big Oak Corners, Smyrna 9:12, 9:22 in Townsend, 9:27 in Middletown. These tornadoes, if they're on the ground, don't come with a lot of lightning and thunder with them. So there isn't a lot of advanced warning. Essentially, you don't hear it coming. It looks like a cloud of rain, and then all of a sudden you get punched by these winds 70 to 90 miles per hour, and that can cause some huge problems. So to reset you on the big picture, and then we're going to take a look at some live cameras to see what's going on here, just to make sure, because we have seen these warnings just pop up in a matter of seconds and then go away. So we got to keep going back and forth here, just the nature of the game. We have flash flood warnings in our suburbs. Currently, one tornado warning. We had multiple ones at one time. This is a very serious situation. As Glenn said, our partners over at the National Weather Service were trying to get out the message. This is life-threatening flash flooding that is occurring in our Pennsylvania suburbs. We don't say this often. We don't take over coverage a lot, wall to wall, and that's why we're here for you, is to keep you safe, because this is a dangerous situation unfolding. It doesn't last all day long, but we have a rough haul the next several hours. The bottom edge of this storm system is the center of the storm. Once that passes on through, we will be in good shape, but we still have several hours of tough weather to go. So let's take a look at some of the visuals. We have some live images for you of some of the thunderstorms and the flooding that are taking place across the area. This is moving to the west along the Schuylkill Expressway, I believe, as you are approaching 476, which is the blue route. Again, we're headed west. You can see that stretch there. Looks like 2 or 3 lanes there. Moving west, traffic comes to a stop. So expect not to go anywhere fast today. You're not going to get anywhere until after about 3 or 4 o'clock when this settles down. So this is the boulevard at the Schuylkill Expressway. You can see conditions not too bad in that section, but I have to tell you, when you take that Schuylkill up that stretch west of there, so west of the 476 interchange out towards King of Prussia, where it meets up with 202, that section has had a ton of rain. So I would imagine we have some big problems in that direction. Live look at Wilmington, Delaware. So you are not in the tornado warning in Wilmington. To the south of you in southern Newcastle County, you are. Wilmington, we're just seeing some heavy rain right now. We are watching that band to the south of you. Wilmington, you need to be standing on guard here for the potential of some isolated tornadoes over the next couple of hours. That band is headed toward you. Cape May, we've seen some blinding downpours over the course of the morning. Now, look, that's an ominous sky, but actually you start to see some brightening. You are getting closer to the center of the storm. Also notice the camera shaking. So the shore points, you gotta hunker down now. The wind element is going to kick in for you. You've had a quiet morning for the most part. Now is the time that those strong, potentially damaging winds kick in at the shore. Again, listen up, shore points, Jersey, Delaware beaches. We have several hours of intense wind to go. You are near the part of the storm that will deliver damaging winds. This storm has not weakened a lot. So normally a tropical storm makes landfall and it weakens right away. This is being enhanced by the jet stream. It's not weakening. So you have to take this like a serious landfalling tropical storm. There you go west. You can see the conditions there are moving west along there on the Schuylkill Expressway. Again, conditions vary from spot to spot. We've seen conditions today in Philadelphia County where the eastern part of Philadelphia County had 0.2 of an inch of rain and the western part of the county had a couple of inches of rain. And that was all in a matter of about an hour or two worth of time. So it drastically differs from place to place. But as you can see, even in those conditions, not ideal with a lot of spray, especially with all those tractor trailers on the roadway. So again, the long story short, if you can stay off the roads, please do so. We are monitoring new information. We have news crews basically going out and collecting all the information that we're receiving right now on where the storm damage is, and we will have some live reports coming up at 11 o'clock this morning. But for now, we're going to be showing you the cameras, we're going to be showing you the warnings, and we're showing you the radar because that's very important right now. Again, let's just recap. It's 9/11 on this Tuesday morning. we've had a very tough morning of storms. We've had flooding, and we've also had several tornado warnings. One of those with a confirmed report of a tornado in Kent County earlier on this morning. We had a tornado just over the border from Kent County in Maryland that flipped over a car, assuming that somebody may have been in that car. No confirmation just yet. But again, that can be a serious situation if you're driving and experience one of these rain-wrapped tornadoes. So what we're going to do, we have that one tornado warning. We're going to cover that. That storm is moving to the northwest at 50 miles per hour. That storm, again, has potentially a tornado with it. So again, it's this area north of Dover. So Dover, important to note, you're in the clear for now. We'll have to watch to see if any more bands come in. This north of Dover is the threat zone now for this impending potential tornado. So northwest at 50 miles per hour, putting a storm track on this storm. There you go. You can see communities in the path of the storm, 915 Cheswold, 919 Big Oak Corners, 922 in Smyrna, 931 in Townsend, 936 in Middletown. This is just one tornado warning. This is an unusual setup. We are not in this every year, every 5 years, sometimes even 10 years. This is a very unique setup where we have the potential of a lot of tornadoes today. And so you need to stick with it. You need to be weather aware today because this can change in a matter of seconds. That's how nitty gritty it can come down to, seconds in our area. So I'm going to toss it over to Tracy, see if she has any new information. I'm going to go re-rack and try to get some new information and see what I can find out.
As we continue to look at your picture, Steve, I want to add this from Sheila Wacko. She says Route 309 southbound currently fully blocked. A spin out crew is on the scene to help if both lanes are blocked. And on the ramp from the westbound Vine to the westbound Schuylkill, left lane is blocked with a crash involving a tractor trailer. Also, I'm seeing that some of our viewers are sending us pictures. Remember, we love your pictures, but we want you to stay safe. So only take pictures or video if it is safe to do so.
We have some new information, Tracy. Sorry, I apologize to cut you off. We had an observed tornado near Smyrna. So that's why I'm cutting Tracy off. This is very important information. An observed tornado. That means tornado on the ground near Smyrna, Delaware. That was confirmed at 9:08 this morning. So we have tornadoes on the ground right now. You need to be in your safe place. Please take your phone with you in case you lose power to have a way of getting information. This may not be the only tornado warning you're under today. You could be under a tornado warning a couple of times as these tropical rain bands produce these quick spin-up tornadoes that are producing damage. So again, thanks to our weather team. We're on a group text right now. I'm literally reading this off my text chain. Thank you, Krystal, for this observed tornado in Smyrna, 9:08 this morning. So again, new information coming in. Toss it back over to Tracy. Sorry to cut you off, Tracy. Just wanted to get that out in the air.
Yeah, that's fine. And Steve, while you're going to get more information, let me ask you this question. Because I think when we think of tornadoes, we think we're going to hear the wind. But in this case, you're saying it's going to be on us before we're just going to be seeing the rain.
You know, when you hear the movies, the sound bites, people say it sounded like a freight train.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear a freight train coming at you with this go around. They're very small. They're not necessarily on the ground for that long. And they can do what we call they skip. So, you know, it'll come down, it'll go back up in the clouds, not a problem. And then 5 minutes later, it can come back down again. That's how fast these things change, along with the visibility, too. You're driving along, everything's good, and then all of a sudden you hit this wall of rain where the rainfall rates are up to 2 to 3 inches per hour. So speaking of rainfall rates, let's see what we got here. There is the big picture. So southern Delaware, now the rain is over, but the wind threat is ramping up. So just because you see the rain ending doesn't mean you're done. We got to get through a couple hours of the strong winds. But as First Alert Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz mentioned, this thing is moving. That's what we want to see. If there's a light to all this, this thing is moving, and we'll be out of here earlier than what we were telling you yesterday. The bad news is it's bad between now and about 3 or 4 o'clock. Tough weather, rapidly changing weather. So tornado warning in effect here in Delaware. So what we want to do is put the alert on for you, show you how long that warning goes for. Again, this is in the state of Delaware. Tornado warning in effect until 9:30 this morning. If you're down in Kent County, again, we saw this observed tornado. Usually we say radar spotted. That's what they were earlier. We have now seen spotters confirm that the tornado is on the ground. So you need to be in your safe place away from windows. In and around Philadelphia, no tornadoes just yet. We just have some heavy rain. No tornado producing thunderstorms just yet. But any one of these little storms can wind up a tornado very quickly. So you need to be on guard. Tornado watch in effect for our viewing area. Watch means conditions are favorable for a tornado developing at any time. That watch is through 4 o'clock. Warning means it's happening. You got it take action. You got to move. So we're watching out. We're waiting for new information. When that warning comes, then you got to act, move away from windows to the lowest floor of your home. In the meantime, again, rain is a big problem right now across the viewing area. We've had a lot of rain in and around the suburbs. That rain continues to pile up, especially north and west of Philadelphia. So what we're going to do, we're going to plot some of these rainfall rates and show you what's coming down out of these rain bands. So you see that rain pivoting off to the north and west. We have a rainfall amount there across areas to the west of Montgomery County. There you go, 10:30 in the morning, that flash flood warning takes into effect. So you got to be careful. You got to be off the roads if you can. If you live near a stream, of course, we had the Brandywine Creek. We had Randy Gyllenhaal down there, our reporter, this morning, and the raindrops were huge, and that river was filling up very quickly. So again, these conditions can change very quickly. So again, we do have a flash flood warning in that area. The warning is for flooding that's happening right now. The rainfall amounts in this about 1 inch to 1.5 inches an hour. Again, fast moving rain bands where the rain will come through, visibility gets better, and then the rain gets worse again. So again, we're on the air with you, 917, not your typical. Okay, thank you. In my ear, we just heard tornado warning in Cumberland County. So we're going to go back to near Fortescue. So that's this storm right now. We told you there would be multiple tornado warnings. Could you repeat that one more time? Okay, 13 miles south of Millville. And could you get me a speed on that storm and we'll zoom in? Okay, 60 miles per hour. So again, these are fast moving storms. Again, we're on the air with you, 918 tornado warnings. The state of Delaware, now the state of New Jersey, earlier in Bucks County and Philadelphia County. This is our latest tornado warning. I'm going to go edit the speed on this storm. It's moving to the northwest. It's racing at the speed that you would normally drive on a highway. That's how fast these things can barrel down, moving at 60 miles per hour. So what I'm going to do is edit this track. We have to get the communities on this to see who is in the path of this tornado. Again, Cumberland County. If you're listening to us from Cumberland County, your phone's probably going off right now. And for good reason. We have a tornado warning in effect for you, and that is in effect through the next hour or so. So let's take a look at this and put the storm track on for you. And here we go. Storm moving northwest at 50. It's probably this part of the storm right here. And there you go. Latest times, 9:26 and down. Frames Corner, 9:29, 9:32 Cedarville, 9:35 Fairton and Bridgeton. So now we're talking about some bigger towns here that are in the path of this potential rain-wrapped tornado. I believe this is a radar-indicated tornado. Correct me if I'm wrong. So again, the radar is seeing a spin. So it is a radar-indicated tornado moving to the northwest till 9:45 this morning. Cumberland County, you need to be away from windows. This is the second storm that we've seen today that's moving over Delaware Bay that had a lot of rotation with it and potentially a tornado. So again, these things move fast, moving northwest at 50. Look for rapidly changing conditions. Let's switch this over to our wind mode. Oh, there you go. We saw this down in Delaware. Bright colors really next to each other. It's what we call a couplet. When we see that couplet, we know that we have a signature of a potential tornado. And remember the last time we saw that near Smyrna, I said, this looks really bad. Well, we got a confirmed tornado out of it. So you have to treat like this as a tornado on the ground, moving to the northwest at, I believe, 50 miles per hour, if I remember correctly. And here's your latest storm cone, 922 down, 924 Frames Corner, 60 miles per hour. Thank you. 927 Cedarville, 931 Fairton, 934 Bridgeton. Again, this is a quite an intense signature. And what I'm going to do is flip it back over to the regular mode to show you it's pouring. You're not going to see it coming at you. This thing is probably rain wrapped. Signature is right in here. It's moving just to the west of you in Morris River. So Morris River, not for you, but off to this part of Cumberland County as it moves. This is a relatively not populated area, but there are some people. So anybody in this warning needs to take action and get to the lowest floor of your home. Also, this is pretty much low country of New Jersey. We're probably seeing a lot of flooding on some of those roadways, at least some ponding of water on some of those streets and highways. So let's get you set up back to the big scale. We have tornado warning in Cumberland County till 9:45, I believe. We have tornado warning down in Delaware till 9:30. And we have flash flood warnings for the rest of the area. We will have more tornado warnings. This is not the last one, as this northern part of Tropical Storm Isaias moves to the north. In these bands, you get these small spin-ups of tornadoes. So again, blinding rain, tornadoes not a threat up in the Lehigh Valley. Flash flooding is a big threat for you right now. Again, that could be really a big problem. Berks County, Lehigh County, right now it's happening in our northern and western suburbs. To the south and east, the story is completely different. Not so much flash flooding. The story is isolated tornadoes and potentially damaging winds. There's a lot of layers to this storm. The big picture, it's going to be gone by about 4 o'clock. But between now and then, we have a lot of details to go through to walk you through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss it back over to Tracy and let her handle this, and we'll collect some new information for you.
Okay, great, Steve. Thanks so much, because we continue to get live pictures and video in from around the area as we continue our live team coverage. This is Storm Force 10. We are in Ballackinwood, Montgomery County. We've talked about the rain at times really coming down in the Philadelphia suburbs and how much rain we could get. And as Steve Sosna said earlier, flash flooding kills more people than tornadoes. So this rain is nothing. Please.
With our Delaware storm, tornadoes still on the ground as of 9:18. So that was 4 minutes ago. Tornadoes still on the ground. That means it's potentially been on the ground for 10 minutes. We were showing you that signature. I said this one really is popping, and this is a problem. We have a tornado now on the ground potentially for 10 minutes now in areas of Kent County. So I know we've been talking about this for a long time. It seems like we're talking on and on and on. It's a serious situation, and it's unfolding minute by minute, just how it goes. We have a tornado warning in effect now, Cumberland County. We're on to keep you safe. This is going to be a long day of it until about 4 or 5 o'clock, and then this thing would kiss it goodbye. But tornado warning 9:45 now. Cumberland County, you need to be away from windows. Treat these seriously. We've now had several tornado touchdowns, tornadoes on the ground, producing damage. They're not epic tornadoes, but they can cause you harm and they can flip your car over. And we've seen that just over the border in the state of Maryland. Big picture, heavy rainfall. Any one of these little bands can produce an isolated tornado. But again, it's this arc right here we have to be concerned about. As soon as that arc passes you by, your tornado threat is done. But when you're in this arc, that tornado threat is legit, and we've seen it. It's on the ground in some places, and that is moving north. Philadelphia, you are under the tornado watch. The nearby suburbs, you're under the tornado watch. New Jersey, you're under the tornado watch. That means you can't go anywhere. Just keep an eye to your phone. We're going to be with you here on NBC10 until we wrap this thing up, because there's some dangerous weather moving through as seen on the ground. So, again, to recap you, flash flood warnings, state of Delaware, tornado warnings, state of Delaware, and also in Cumberland County, New Jersey. I'm going to step off the screen real quick, get my tool, and we are going to do some more storm tracking in terms of towns and communities. So while I do that, Tracy, over to you.
All right, again, we have live team coverage. We have pictures and video coming in. This is courtesy Radnor Police Department. Look at that. That is Bryn Mawr, Delaware County. We've been talking about the amount of rain and the potential for flash flooding in the Pennsylvania suburbs. And as we take a look at this video in Bryn Mawr, Delaware County, I just got this from Sheila Wacko from Montgomery County, that Whitpain Township just tweeted their closed roads all due to flooding. Yost Road, Jolly Road, Route 202. Look at that, though. This is Bryn Mawr. This is courtesy Radnor Police Department.
The creek is flowing.
And then this is from Wynwood, Montgomery County.
Check out. This is the beach area that we always go to.
And we have a new tornado warning. I know we want to go to Bill Henley, but go ahead, Steve.
Yeah,
Let's
and I don't know if Bill's going
update
to talk about this more, but I just want to get it on the air for you real
Sure.
quickly. Newcastle County now till 10 a.m. Just clear this off just to make sure that I have everybody in this. Newcastle County, again, we're breaking on the air tornado warnings. We've had several reported touchdowns. This tornado now moving near Odessa towards the north and west. Looks like Newcastle County and southern Chester County. So now Pennsylvania is starting to get into the action as that arc of tornado-producing storms moves to the north. If we could get a speed on that to see how fast that tornado warning is moving, that storm is moving to the north and west, because I believe this is the same storm. They just issued a new warning. So the storm that produced a tornado near Smyrna, that same storm is now moving into a different part of the area, moving into Newcastle County and now southern Chester County. So For all of our friends listening to us on KYW News Radio, joining us now, we have tornado warnings now in some of our suburbs, southern Chester County. We've had terrible driving conditions and now the danger of a potential tornado on the ground. So if we could get a speed on that north at 50, thank you, Krystal, our whole weather team at work here. And I believe I have to edit that storm track. So let's turn it over to Bill Henley. Bill, what do you have for us?
We'll try to get Bill up joining us, but we have continued to take in more video that we're getting from the field. This is Wilmington, Delaware. Again, we've been talking about the reduced visibility. There's flooding, there's ponding on the roads, reduced visibility. And as we continue to tell you that tornado warnings continue to pop up, now in effect for Kent, Newcastle, Cumberland counties. We're seeing rain across the area. This is Cape May. We've been talking about the wind gust potential down the shore, something serious especially for the merchants down the shore. They've been talking about how they were getting ready just to add insult to injury about what they've been dealing with over the summer months. But look at those clouds.
Wow.
And we're seeing the rain first, and then our meteorologists have been telling us then we'll see those high winds. Steve, go ahead.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
58-mile-per-hour wind gust now in Georgetown. So if we go back to the weather wall, there you go, 58-mile-per-hour gust. As we were talking about, there's layers to the storm. The rain goes through. Now the wind is cranking. So the center, we're looking at the arrows. Why are these arrows spinning all over? It tells us where the center of the low is. That's important because what part of the low you're in depends on how the weather dictates. So if the low is down here, you still have more storm to go. And sure enough, that wind is out of the south and east. So we still have several more hours of intense wind. The wind element, it's hard to believe because we've been on the air now for so long, how many more layers we still have to go yet. So the wind element just coming into the picture now. We haven't even really dealt with that. We've been dealing with flash flooding and tornadoes. There's also a wind element. So that's where our concern is for South Jersey, the beaches down into Delaware. So far, you've kind of escaped the worst of the weather, not with this part of the storm. You don't get the worst in the way of rain, you get the worst of the way of wind. So the storm delivering some ugly impacts all across the area. So what I'm going to do now is go back and give you that track, that storm moving to the northwest at 50 miles per hour, northwest at 50 down in Delaware. So here we go, Newcastle County into southern Chester County, brand new tornado warning in effect. We have that tornado warning for the potential of a rain-wrapped tornado. So what we're going to do right now, turn it over to our wind mode. There you go. Let me zoom in closer so you can see that. Strong signature on the radar right now of a potential tornado right here. You see where this, zoom in for you even closer, just make sure that you can see it. Right here, potential tornado north of Middletown. So keep looking at the chat, guys, see if we get anything new. This looks like a very strong signature right now. Bright pinks next to bright green, not a good sign. So let's put a track on there. Again, if you are in front of this dangerous situation, northwest at 50. So there you go. Storm is now moving up into southern Pennsylvania eventually. So Armstrong, 929. 942, that's Elkton, Maryland. 944, Meadowview. 948, Covered Bridge Farms. 950, Fair Hill. So again, a lot of farm country out here, but also some populated roads and some cul-de-sacs and developments too. So you need to watch out for that. So again, that's one storm. Let's go back and keep track because we have several tornado warnings right now, several dangerous storms going on. The other one in Cumberland County. Let's see how that one is doing to see if we still have a potential tornado with that storm in Cumberland County. It looks like that storm signature is a little bit weaker. That's good news. You still want to take this seriously. You still want to be away from windows. Still could be some damaging winds with this. That signature not looking as healthy. So that's good news for Cumberland County. Let's go back to the maps. That Delaware storm looks like it's the most problematic. Actually, we have a tornado warning now for, looks like northern Northampton County. So it's the Lehigh Valley now starting to get some of that action. Again, this is the very northern fringe of our viewing area, but we don't want to neglect you. Northern Northampton County now, tornado warning. That is in effect until, oh, yeah, look at the circulation on that too, 10 a.m. So one thing about this that we want to talk about is that the radar is down here in central New Jersey. By the time the beam gets up here, it's shooting pretty high in the atmosphere. So this isn't close to the ground. but we don't have another tool yet to do. So we have to treat this like a tornado potentially on the ground up in northern Northampton County. Again, a lot of rugged terrain up here, a lot of trees. You won't see this thing coming at you. The ceiling, the cloud deck is low. Again, a dangerous situation. Yeah, northern New Hampton County tornado warning in effect. That's the one that I've been talking about. That one is in effect till 10 o'clock this morning. So again, it's hard to keep track. These things are just breaking out before your eyes and live on television right now as this severe situation kind of unfolds. Again, if you have damage in your community, we have the NBC10 app, we have the NBC10 website. See it, share it, send those pictures and those videos to us only if it's safe. If it's not safe, don't worry about it. We'll get it some other way because this is a dangerous situation. We don't want to put you or your family in harm's way. So recapping, center of the storm, down at the shore, we're seeing increasing winds down at the beaches. You need to be aware for potentially flying debris from wind gusts. Not so much tornadoes, but wind gusts. We've seen now a 58 mile per hour wind gust in Georgetown, Delaware. We could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts down at the beaches. What's happening right now? We're on the right front part of this storm. And Steve, why does that matter? The right front part of a tropical system is the strongest part. Typically, when we're hit, it's a glancing blow, and we're on the left side of the storm. No big deal. Sometimes we get some flooding out of it. Usually we don't get the full impacts. We are getting all of the impacts. We're on the worst side of this storm. You don't want to be here, and that's where we are at this hour. And that's why we're covering this like you would in Florida or South Carolina. This is one of these very strong tropical storms that can produce a lot of damage, and that's what we're having. We don't get it a lot, but that's why we're covering it, because that's the kind of damage that you can get, the stuff like you see in the southeast. So let's go back to our velocity. This is the wind speed and direction. Very strong signature right now in Delaware. This is, based on my observation, this is a nasty storm. So right in here, let's put the storm track on it. Moving to the north and west. Again, if you're in the path of this storm, you need to be away from windows. Chesapeake City, 937. Elkton, again, that's Maryland, 943. Meadowview, 946. Again, this is going to be moving into Chester County. The storm is moving at 50 to 60 miles per hour. You don't have a lot of time. And if you're north in Chester County and not under that warning, you have to be under the assumption that you probably will be, as this storm has had a tornado on the ground since Smyrna. And it was on the ground for at least 10 minutes. So we don't know what kind of damage it has caused. We're looking at that right now and getting new information in. So again, that's the latest that I have for you right now. Tornado warning in effect for Delaware, Kent, Newcastle County. Let's get the latest on that time period for you. That warning in effect through, and it'll plot there, 10 o'clock this morning. So 10 o'clock. So we have another about 25 minutes worth of that tornado warning in effect. Again, good news with the Cumberland County storm. You were under a tornado warning. I'm looking at the radar right now. The signature isn't as strong. Just move in your direction to make sure. And this is what we're going to be doing. You know, this is how you do it. It's a minute by minute scenario. As that radar sweeps around, we get another scan, another update, and we know what's happening with that thunderstorm. And right now, that thunderstorm is not looking as healthy, but these things can cycle. So they produce a potential tornado, lift up, not a problem, and then put down another tornado again. So that's the latest information. Again, tornado warnings in effect for northern New Hampton County. For anybody that's just joining us up in the Lehigh Valley, that's the first tornado warning of the day that we've seen up in that direction. We've seen a lot of heavy rain. Rainfall rates, especially in this band right here, 2 to 3 inches an hour, are driving windswept rain in an area that's already had, when I was using our radar tool during the morning show at 6:30 in the morning, this area already had 2 to 3 inches of rain, and it's been pouring since 6 a.m. So one has to assume, given the rainfall rates, there's been probably 5 to 6 inches of rain in here. So if the weather team could confirm that, you guys have been great. Thank you very much. Also need to watch this storm very closely. This is a storm that's moving into Cape May County shortly. Based on its signature, this probably definitely has some rotation with it, and if it doesn't, it may soon. So yeah, we got to watch this one. So this one, no tornado warning just yet, but there's some rotation going on in that thunderstorm, and that will be moving on shore quickly. Again, these are brief spin-ups, and then they can cause damage, and then it goes away, but we could see this multiple times in a day. So Tracy, I'm going to turn it over to you, get some new information.
All right, Steve, thanks. We want to show you video that continues to come in from across the area. Delaware has been pummeled by pounding rain as predicted for hours. Take a look at it coming down. This is Milton, Sussex County, just a short time ago. And you can see that rain beating on the cars. This is about 40 miles south of Smyrna, where Steve said there was that observed tornado that was actually on the ground for at least 10 minutes. Now we're seeing rain, a lot of rain in the Philadelphia suburbs as well. And this is Delaware County. We've also heard of water rescues. This is on Bryn Mawr Avenue in Bryn Mawr. The road is flooded out. This is in front of Sacred Heart Academy, if you know where that is. Radnor Police Department says they're getting calls that people need to be rescued. In fact, Radnor Police tweeted that the police and the fire are responding across the township to water rescues. Public Works crews are working tirelessly to close roads and clear debris. There's a lot of debris down. We're hearing that from Sheila Wacko. And Radnor Police tweeted, "Turn around, don't drown. Better yet, stay home while this storm passes over us." As we've been telling you, this eye of the storm will pass over Philadelphia, but we've got a couple more hours of heavy rain and then the wind. This is rushing water and flooding along Cobb's Creek in Wynwood, Montgomery County. Now we go to meteorologist Bill Henley. Bill?
Tracy, we are dealing with this tropical storm. Isaias is going to be with us into this afternoon, and the worst of it is still yet to come for Pennsylvania, but we're seeing the worst of it now in Delaware, and it's this band of some very heavy rain and some severe weather that's moving through Newcastle County and into South Jersey. Here you can see the heavy rainfall signature on the first alert radar moving through Newcastle County and into South Jersey. That's some very heavy rainfall, and this line has had a history of producing some severe weather. As Steve has been talking about, we have multiple alerts. We have flash flood warnings in effect, and also this dangerous storm system. This is a tornado warning that is in effect for Newcastle County. It is now cleared Middletown, but this is some very heavy rainfall and the potential for damaging winds and tornado signature, as Steve has mentioned, has been very strong. We'll take a look at the velocity, and there you can see it right there. Let me point it out to you. You can see right in here, it looks like we have the signature of the tornado, which is moving to the northwest at 50 miles an hour. So at that rate, that storm system could very well reach into not only Newcastle County, but into Chester County as well. So in the path of that storm, Newark at 9:48 this morning, Covered Bridge Farms at 9:52 and 9:54, Glen Westover, and just before 10 o'clock, London, Britain. This is the time to take shelter, get your kids, your family, get into the basement or the lowest level in your home and get in an interior room. This is going to be the safest place to weather this storm. Now, this is just one of the threats that we're dealing with this morning. In addition to the tornadic activity with a severe weather threat, which will likely continue as that line of storms pushes into southeastern Pennsylvania, we also have had that very heavy rainfall. 2-3 inches of rainfall has fallen over much of the area, and this has prompted flash flood warnings. Now, those flash flood warnings are in effect for most of Newcastle and Kent County in Delaware, and also in the suburbs for Gloucester County and into Salem County in New Jersey. Let me zoom in for this. This is the flash flood warning that you can see that's in effect right under this area. Encompasses Woolwich Township in Gloucester County, and the very heavy rainfall has also been falling through Delaware County, Norristown, Phoenixville. You're all in this flood warning, a flash flood warning. Hatfield and Richland as well into Bucks County, and this particular flash flood warning extends into the Lehigh Valley in Lehigh and Northampton counties. And then you can see the heavy rainfall has also prompted Easton and Plainfield to be into that flash flood warning. And there you have yet another tornado warning, and that tornado warning is in effect until 10 o'clock this morning for northern Northampton County. That rain is moving through quickly, but the severe weather threat is still on the way for much of Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and Delaware. Northern Delaware is seeing that right now. So another look at this radar screen, and you can see the heaviest rainfall. Indeed, it's moving towards Philadelphia into northern and northwestern Newcastle County towards Newark right now. That's where some of the heaviest rain is coming in with this potential tornado. This radar indicated tornado is moving quickly to the north at 50 miles an hour. You can see right now that couplet that Steve so nicely described which shows the variation of the wind. It looks like it is moving off to the northwest, so it is going to pass just to the west of Newark, but into northeastern Cecil County in Maryland, and could hold together and move into Chester County as well. So as this line, and I'll point it out for you right now, it's pretty clear on the first alert radar what we're dealing with. This particular line that has been moving slowly through Delaware and into South Jersey. This is the line that poses the greatest risk for not only drenching rainfall, but for severe weather as it moves into the area. And this is going to be with us the next few hours. Also coming in with this line is going to be some very strong gusty winds. We haven't seen a lot of that so far, but let me take a look at the wind gusts, if I can pop that up on the screen. And you see those are rapidly ramping up. Look at the wind gusts now at 46 miles an hour in Wildwood. We are expecting the strongest winds in Delaware and at the Jersey Shore, but those strong gusty winds are already reaching inland. The gusts are more than 32 miles an hour, or reaching up to 32 miles an hour in Wilmington, Tracy. So there's a lot more storm this ahead as this storm system passes right over from Philadelphia early this afternoon.
All right, Bill, thanks so much. We want to show you a picture. We're starting to get pictures from our viewers, and we do want to say thank you and we welcome your pictures, but we really, really want you to be safe. That's why we're on the air. We're on the air right now to keep you and your family safe, giving you the very latest information on these tornado warnings and watches and the flash flooding. So please, if you're safe and you can take pictures of flooding or damage, please do. And it's really easy to send it to us. Just go on our free NBC10 app and look under See It, Share It. And we thank the person for sending us this, a backyard flooding in Telford, Montgomery County. But again, we continue to watch tornado warnings that have popped up, and we're getting more information about observed tornadoes. And I know Steve Sosna just got more information about that.
Yeah, that's right. So we had that storm in Delaware that's been a problem for the last hour or so, a tornado in Smyrna, and now a reported tornado near Middletown. That was about 9:21. So about 20 minutes ago, a reported observed tornado. So that's with this storm that's moving off to the northwest at 40 miles per hour. The signature not as strong right now. That's a good thing. I got a feeling that they're going to probably drop this tornado warning. But as we've seen, these things can cycle through again. The storm has had a history of on and off tornadoes observed on the ground through the state of Delaware, now moving up into Chester County. So everybody in Chester County, stand guard. We don't have a new warning just yet. And that storm a little bit weaker as of now, but the threat doesn't mean it's over. We still have several more hours of this to go. So what I mean by that, it's this band right now. So we're in the action. This is the arc. This is the potential tornado zone right now. That arc extends from southern Pennsylvania, northern Delaware, all the way. New tornado warning now. So this one is in Atlantic County. So hold on one second. I'm going to put my phone down. Only have two hands, Tracy. I wish I had three sometimes.
And you know what? As you take a look at the new tornado warnings in Atlantic County and Cape May County, remind people, because I don't think that we go over these terms often enough, just so they know, because we're on the air so we can warn you. Go over the difference between a tornado warning and a watch, because when the warnings pop up, we're really serious then. Super important point, Tracy. Warning, act now. If you're in Atlantic County, if you're in Cape May County, remember, this is the storm that we were talking about. I said, keep an eye on this storm. It was rotating. There we go. The signature right there on the radar. This has a potential tornado. It's a very strong signature right there. With these strong signatures this morning, what we're talking about, usually we say radar observed tornado. We don't have confirmation. This morning we've had confirmation of tornadoes on the ground. So you need to treat the storm very seriously. This is a storm in Atlantic and Cape May County. So this is Cape May County here, Atlantic County to the north. So, and let me move back here real quick to show you that community that are in the threat of this potential tornado. So as we move back to the, to the west and southwest here. And all right, maybe my computer locked up on me. But anyway, let me get that back for you because that's important to notice. Oh yeah, there's somebody on my Max. I'm on Max 2, please, on Max 2. If you could just, thank you. Tracy, over to you. All right, let's go to Glenn and get an update from him. Glenn?
Yeah, Tracy, we want to emphasize that this is not something that's going to last all day. So we want you to alter your plans so that you stay hunkered down for the next at least couple of hours. Maybe not a whole lot longer than that in parts of the area. And by later this afternoon, by the afternoon rush, this is going to be a dramatically different picture than what you're seeing now. Look at that all across the area. Here's the futurecast, which has been a little bit too slow because the storm has accelerated. Here's 11:30, and you can see from Dover southward and in Cape May County, the heavy weather is pretty much done. There's 1 o'clock, and now it's done in Philadelphia and all of Delaware and all of South Jersey. You're getting heavy rain still in Berks County, the Lehigh Valley, Poconos, Trenton area, but that's just 1 o'clock this afternoon. By 4 o'clock, it's not raining anywhere. We still have some wind, but not anything like today or this morning. Here's the latest overall on the storm. It's moving so rapidly that limits the number of hours of this severe weather that we can have. It's adding to the severity of the weather, but it doesn't last as long because it's traveling so fast. And it has not really weakened. Still a 70-mile-an-hour storm right over Chesapeake Bay at the latest forecast, comes right over Philadelphia. But that symbol is right near Bucks County at 2 p.m. Well, as we've seen, all of the bad weather is on the north side of the storm. So by 2 o'clock, there's another signal that the conditions are going to improve rapidly. The current wind gusts, 46 miles an hour, Wildwood and Georgetown. As the center of the storm gets closer, now it's up to 31 in Philly. So these winds are going to be increasing pretty rapidly in the next hour or two. And then later today, look at 4 o'clock, how much lower that wind speed is in Philadelphia. We're going to be seeing tremendous improvement, but remember, there's going to still be flooding going on. You're going to have to be careful later on today trying to drive home or wherever you are going, especially in the Philly northern and western suburbs. And even at the shore, conditions will improve during the afternoon.
All right, Glenn, thanks so much. We want to go back to Steve because we really want to keep you posted if we're seeing on our radar something that could put you or your family in danger.
This isn't good, Tracy. Actually, the radar scan just updating right here. This is a potential tornado. You just saw it update. It moved onshore. If this is the tornado on the ground, it's actually moving toward the Parkway. So you don't want to see that. This is moving to the northwest at 60 miles per hour. Again, it came on through Strathmere. So I know a lot of people are out there trying to look at waves. It's not a day you want to do that. There's too much danger with both the wind element that's coming in and this tornado warning that's in place. Again,
and
this
Steve,
is signature.
Talk about the signature and the red and the green so close together and so intense like that.
Right. So what we're looking at, the radar has different channels. You're used to seeing the channel that has the reflectivity, which is the red, the orange, the greens, which shows the rainfall. This is a different channel of the radar. We're just purely looking at the wind. And when we see the wind, green and red together, that is red, wind is moving away from the radar. Green is wind moving toward the radar. So what we have here is a couplet right now, and that is a rotation signature. This is a strong rotation area moving over a very populated area, moving to the north and to the west. So near Ocean City. So Ocean City on the southern side of there, getting hit pretty hard through Summers Point, and now moving off to the north and west, actually south of there, Strathmere, to give you a perspective, moving to the north and west. So south of you in Ocean City, north of you in Sea Isle City, Strathmere here, that's the one place that we've seen some of the potentially damaging winds. And there you go, you can see it updating before your eyes. So let's pan around and put a storm track on this, and actually change the radar site. There we go, live picture of Cape May. You can see on the southern end of Cape May County, no severe weather right now, just potentially some damaging winds, but no tornado for you in southern Cape May County. This is the storm that I want to put a track on for you. Track moving north and west at 60 miles per hour, 951 in Palermo. So again, this is a potentially rain-wrapped tornado down at the shore. Remember, it's August, it's summer. There's a lot of people down here. You need to be alert for fast-changing conditions where it just goes from cloudy to some heavy thunderstorms to a potentially rain-wrapped tornado. Again, you will not hear this. It will not sound like a freight train. It is just a quick, fast-moving punch of wind that can cause some damage. So the wide view, Northampton County, you're in better shape now. The tornado warning has been canceled for you. Also, remember, we were looking at that storm in Newcastle County. I said, doesn't look bad anymore. They've now canceled the warning. So that's good news for now. We may have more spin-ups to come. It's this storm, this one storm that has the potential imminent danger of a tornado on the ground with damaging winds. Again, tornado warning for a potential tornado on the ground with damaging winds. The maroon colors that you're seeing here, flash flood warnings. That means travel could be problematic to dangerous across the state of Delaware. And now we have those flash flood warnings up through Delaware County, Chester County, Eastern Chester County, Montgomery County, all the way up through northern Bucks County, where you've seen a lot of rain up towards the Percy area, Sellersville, looks like Telford, down towards Harleysville. You're all communities that have seen a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. If there's some good news with this, as Glenn has been talking about, this storm is really moving. So if we look at the southern part of Delaware, it looks like it's over for you. I wish it was, but it's not. So now you have the wind coming in as the storm center is lifting to the north. So first the wind's coming out of the south and east. So you're getting that wind off the ocean at potentially 50, 60, 70 mile per hour gusts. Then the center will move to the north, and then you have another round of wind coming in from the west. So what that does to the trees, it stresses them out. Remember, they have leaves. It's not winter when we get some of those nor'easters. The leaves have the wind, and those leaves act as umbrellas. They catch the wind like kites and get pulled, so it stresses the tree out. So we could have a lot of tree damage down in Delaware, also down towards the shore, even though flooding is not the greatest concern because we were lucky with the high tide cycle the way this played out. So tornado warning no longer in effect there in Delaware. Again, we have that one in Atlantic County and Cape May County. So 9:52. Tuesday morning, to show you what's going on here, we've been telling you the last few days, we've been warning you. Tropical storm Isaias, it's been a long morning. Tropical storm, the I one, moving up the coastline. I forgot the name of it. 46 mile per hour wind gusts in Wildwood. That tropical storm moving off to the north. So again, moving off to the north, that tropical storm will have some damaging winds and some potentially isolated tornadoes. So yes, that's what we're looking at. It's been a long morning. We have a long morning to go. So here's our live cameras to show you what is going on. We are talking about, this is down at the shore, Cape May, New Jersey. We are looking at rain and some gusty winds. We are looking at the rain coming down very hard now in Philadelphia. We are seeing the rain down in Delaware, pouring rain now in our Wilmington shot in Allentown, seeing that. So we're panning around, showing you the Cape May shot. You can see the wind and the rain. This is blinding rain now in Center City, Philadelphia again. So we have flash flood warnings in effect for part of the Philadelphia area. This is the area that we're really concerned. Okay, so we showed you that image, real-time update in Strathmere with the potential tornado warning. So here we go. Let's clear that off. Tornado on the ground. So we showed you the signature. We said it looks really bad. Looks like a radar-indicated tornado. Probably is one on the ground. We have now had confirmation of a tornado on the ground in Strathmere, New Jersey. That storm is moving to the north and west. Let's get the latest scan on this to show you where that storm is and see where it's going. So we're going to put this over to the velocity mode. And you can see, there we go. This is the storm right here. So let's zoom you in. Again, tornado on the ground, confirmed tornado. This is not just a radar indicated tornado, a dangerous situation. You want to be away from windows. You want to be in the lowest floor of your home. You don't want to be driving, and this thing just crossed the parkway. So we'll have to see if we get any reports. Again, we're really advising you just do not be on the roads right now. Not a good situation. Wait until the storm ends this afternoon. It is going to move out. Won't be here the entire day. So again, tornado warning. Putting a track on this storm. Again, it's racing. It's moving at about the speed that you drive on the highway, 60 miles per hour. It's flying, so it doesn't give you much warning. Here we go. Let's put on the towns. 9:59, Corbin City. 10:03, Estelle Manor. 10:05, Mays Landing. These are all Atlantic County towns. 10:10 there at 10:14, Buena Vista. So we got, again, another tornado warning in effect. This one, a radar confirmed tornado. Let's clear this off for you and show you where that tornado warning is in effect until, again, this tornado warning in effect until 10:15. It looks like we have a new tornado warning now for Delaware. So let's go over to that. Alerts. Or no, that's flash flood warning. Good news for Delaware. Flash flood warning, not good news in terms of flooding, but at least we don't have any tornadic activity with that storm. This is the one that we're watching. Confirmed tornado near Strathmere. Storm moving off to the northwest at about 60 miles per hour. Again, confirmed tornado. We've seen cars flipped over this morning. We've seen some damage, especially down in Delaware. You have to treat these storms seriously as this band comes through. This is the worst part of the storm coming now through areas like the Jersey Shore. This is where we have the tornado threat, and then behind the tornado threat, we have the damaging wind threat. And I have to say, this is not a good signature right now, lining up in and around Philadelphia. This is a lot of heavy rain. This is probably 2 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates moving over. Let's go to the Kimmel Center campus camera. Can we go to the Kimmel Center? Looking at that shot behind Tracy. That's, wow. Blinding downpours moving on through. There you go. And that's what you're getting. And that is that signature on radar that I was showing you. That is some very intense rainfall. Look how the sheets of rain are just hitting the street and just laying there. So if you're in an area where the water doesn't drain, with the rainfall rate like that, it's going to be a bathtub very quickly, right?
That's why we're seeing so much flash flooding and so much ponding on the roads and a number of crashes that Sheila Waco's been telling us about. In fact, on 95 South, 2 lanes are blocked right now on the downside of the Girard Point Bridge because people are still out and about in this, and your visibility is reduced. And when it's coming down that fast, turn around, don't drown, boy. I mean, not here, but in any of the places that you saw those pictures in Bryn Mawr, it can really back up quickly.
Tracy, we don't have a landfalling tropical storm that often in our area, and this is the problem. We have so many layers with it. We usually just get brushed by them. So when you get hit full on, you get a lot of problems all at the same time, and that's what we're dealing with right now. Cape May, you are in for a windstorm the next several hours, very intense winds, potentially up to 70 miles per hour there at the shore, outside of any thunderstorms. It doesn't need to be raining. Some of that wind, I'm looking at the radar signatures, that wind signature. I've been seeing estimates down in Delaware of 70 to 80 mile per hour winds just off the ground on the radar. So that is potentially those winds are coming down. So no tornado warning, but just damaging winds possible. So let's reset you. It's 9:58. It's a Tuesday morning. We have a tropical storm, Isaias, moving up in our direction. That storm has a lot of layers to it. Flash flooding will be the most noticeable one for all of you in Pennsylvania, northern Delaware, parts of South Jersey. Flash flooding impacting a lot of communities. The next factor, potential tornadoes. So we have tornado warning at this hour for Atlantic County for this storm, which had a confirmed tornado near Strathmere. We're tracking that. The third layer to this is the damaging wind potential. And the damaging wind potential will start from south to north as we get into the core of this tropical storm's wind. There you go. There's some wind right now in Center City. This is from our Comcast Technology Center, panning over to Billy Penn there at City Hall. You can see that flag really coming in. Looks like that wind is coming in out of the south and east there. So again, the storm center still down here. This storm is not even, meaning it's a front loader. Everything comes on the front end, and then on the second side of it is some very gusty, potentially damaging winds, but you're not going to get the rainfall and the tornadoes like on the front side of the storm. So that's basically the breakdown at this hour. Flash flooding, potential tornadoes. Any one of these storms that are coming through right now can quickly put down a tornado. We've seen several confirmed reports this morning, and we have one potentially that's still on the ground. We'll have to wait and see. But again, it's been a strong signature on our radar. So what I'm going to do, we've been watching the large, but it's potent, and you will not hear it coming at you like a freight train. You get under that warning, hopefully from your phone, the NBC10 app, or from me. You got to take action. You got to get to that interior room.
Right. We keep saying that that's not what it's going to sound like. But there's going to be a lot of rain, and talk about a lot of rain. This is the picture, the live camera that we usually show you of the link. That's how much visibility is reduced because of how hard the rain is coming down in places.
This storm, Tracy, still looks like it may have a tornado on the ground with it. It's not as bright, but there's still a circulation there, and that could spin up at any time. It may even be on the ground right now. So let's put a track on that. What I'm looking at right now is the green and the red contrast. We're seeing a big flare up of greens right now. At the very least, there's probably some damaging wind with that. The storm is cycling through. It's rotating, moving to the north and west. Here, let me put the storm track on there one more time and show you where that storm is. Again, right here, you're seeing that storm. Let's put the storm track on again, moving to the northwest. These are moving very quickly at the speeds that you drive, typically on a highway, moving to the northwest at 60 miles per hour. There's your latest track times. 10:02 Oakville, 10:04 Estelle Manor, 10:06 Mays Landing. Mays Landing, we've been saying your name. You're not out of the woods just yet. You are still in the path of the storm. Until that circulation gets over you and past you, you're not in the clear. Strathmere, where you had the observed tornado, you're in the clear. Nothing happening right now. Some strong gusty winds coming through. Your tornado threat has ended. So it's important. Cape May County, you're basically out of the woods. This is now an Atlantic County storm in terms of tornado potential. And as I was saying earlier before we showed those live pictures, this is a very concerning image. This is a lot of rain coming down in a very short amount of time over a very urban area. So at least when you're raining down in South Jersey, you have grass to absorb it, right? When you're up raining in Camden and Philadelphia and Delco like that, you have a lot of pavement, a lot of streets. That doesn't absorb the rain like grass does or farm country. And so you get problems that escalate very quickly from not a problem to a problem. So it looks like the latest scan there, they've dropped the tornado warning, but as we know from this morning, they can break very quickly, and if they do, we'll be right back at you. Tracy.
All right, Steve, we've been showing you those live pictures, the rain coming down so hard you can't see anything. Let's talk with Glenn Hurricane Schwartz about those rainfall totals and how fast it's coming down. Glenn?
Yeah, Tracy, as Steve was just showing you, this is really the worst of the storm for the Philadelphia area, and conditions will improve within the next hour or two, but it is really bad now. You can see the red right on top of us, and also the drier air in southern Delaware, how things have improved considerably. You see those reds and oranges in Philadelphia? We look at the rainfall rate in a different scale here, and we're measuring 3 to 4 inches of rain per hour. And now, as we look at the observed rainfall, take a look at Maryland. Give you an idea what is coming in. That's 10 inches of rain in this storm. Our all-time record in Philadelphia is 8. So we've already gotten 3. Fortunately, we have less in Berks County than in other areas. There is 3.4 in northern Delaware, 3.1 in central Delaware, and this is only in 3 hours. So remember, it only took 2 to 3 inches in 6 hours to produce major flash flooding in the Philadelphia area and suburbs, and that's what we're getting. The Reading has not had it yet. The tornado watch, remember, it means tornadoes may occur. Avoid outdoors. The tornado warnings mean that you already have the tornadoes reported. These are not just indicated by radar. We have people seeing the tornadoes and seeing the damage resulting from those tornadoes. So you've got to head to the basement and away from windows. As far as flash flooding, you want to avoid those streams and creeks. They rise extremely rapidly with this kind of a system. Now, eventually the Schuylkill is likely to flood, but that takes longer. There's a delay there. So the streets go first, then the creeks, then the rivers. And remember, fast-moving water. 6 inches of fast-moving water will knock adults over. And 1 foot of moving water can lift a vehicle, even a truck. I mean, you just can't overestimate the danger of trying to drive through not only flooded waters, but water that is moving. And this is what causes most of the fatalities in these kinds of storms. The flood threat will continue even after the rain is gone. The creeks still go up, the rivers go up, but then the severe weather threat will be decreasing. And of course, we'll keep you on top of this because it's changing so rapidly. 50, 60 miles an hour that these storms are moving, Tracy.
All right, Glenn, thanks so much. It's 10:05. If you're just joining us, we are on the air to keep you and your family safe. We have tornado warnings popping up around the area. We have a tornado watch in effect for most of our viewing area. We're seeing flash flooding. We're seeing water rescues. And we're continuing to get more information about what's happening and how fast that rain is coming down. This is the Jefferson building. You can barely make it out. That's how hard the rain is coming down. We're also getting, and we warned you about this, so if you still have power, you should charge your devices because we do expect power outages. We're already hearing from PECO. They have 3,100 outages listed, PPL 700 around the Allentown area. Because we've really only seen the beginning of the storm. We have the heavy rain, especially the pockets of heavy rain we've been showing you and talking about how fast it's been coming down. Then we have the tornado warnings popping up. Then we're going to have the damaging winds, and that's when we can really see some of the debris come down and trees come down and topple those power lines. So if you haven't already done it, make sure you charge your devices. Make sure you download our NBC10 app because we want to continue to warn you about these tornadoes that we continue to hear about. Steve, I know that you're continue to get more information about that tornado in Smyrna.
Yeah, so with these kind of situations, information just kind of trickles in. So we're starting to get more information on what happened down in Delaware, in Smyrna, Delaware. Looks like we had a tornado along Route 13 in Smyrna. Confirmed tornado, a nearby wind sensor, a gust of 96 miles per hour. So the takeaway from that 96 mile per hour wind gust there in near Smyrna, Delaware. So let's clear off this and take a tour here because these are all the storm reports that are coming
hey, Brandon,
in.
You still there?
I'm seeing some of these just for the first time. There we go. Looks like that report of a tornado has been confirmed on our storm reports here in and around the Strathmere area. Spotter reports tornado on the ground with debris crossing in the air. This is what we're talking about, debris in the air. So again, it's not happening right now, but this is what happened with that tornado warned storm that we warned you about. We tracked it all morning for you. We showed it to you. The circulation offshore came on in, produced a tornado. Again, this is not a typical situation that you see in South Jersey, the shore of Philadelphia, with this situation that's unfolding. So it's important that you're listening and that you're acting when you need to act in this kind of situation. The best thing that you can do is not be on the roads, not be traveling, and let the emergency crews do what they need to do because there has been some damage, especially in that part of Atlantic County. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm seeing some of these reports for the first time myself. So we had 42 mile per hour sustained wind. That's sustained. The gust is what, occasionally hits you. The sustained wind keeps on going. So 42 mile per hour wind gusts or sustained wind there in near Seattle City. And let's take a look at some of the other storm reports. Again, we're just going to kind of glance and see what's out there. Again, these are some of the tornado reports down in Delaware that we're aware of. Do we have any storm reports up here? It looks like we have a flood report in, in Montgomery County there. Wayne, yeah, there we go, 9:38. You had a report of some flash flooding. So live video. Again, all this stuff is just coming in before your eyes. So that's what's going on here. We're getting these reports in real time. So as they come in, you'll see these little icons pop up on our screen as we get that new information. So it's just coming on in. Again, it takes time for people to report this stuff. They land themselves in trouble. It's not a good situation. They got to call emergency crews. They're not reporting this report. So it takes time for this to trickle in. But trust me, it's bad out there across Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and into Delaware, where we've had some confirmed tornadoes today. We've had confirmed tornadoes in Delaware, and we've also had confirmed tornadoes in New Jersey, near Strathmere. So the big picture, to reset you, just to make sure there are no tornado warnings right now, because we are in that part of the storm right now where that can happen. Not seeing anything that stands out. Let's just check this. This is what we got to do. It's literally a minute-by-minute situation. So right now, flash flooding, and I have to tell you, that rain is driving down. Kimmel Center campus camera, you can see, wow, that is really coming down in Center City, Philadelphia. I would imagine that there is probably some issues in Center City with some flooding based on that picture. Certainly traffic is moving very slowly. You're not going to get to your destination anyway, so you may as well just stay home. This is not one of the days that you want to be out there traveling or running errands. Put it off till later on today or tomorrow. Again, Kimmel Center campus camera, if you can put that up when you get a chance. It's really impressive with that rain just driving on in here and people caught out there. Unlucky people. Where's your umbrella? Did you not listen to the weather today? You can see, there you go, the rain piling in here, Center City, Philadelphia. Visibility is low. Usually you can see right straight down to City Hall. You can't see that on Broad Street right now. So again, that wind and rain is driving. At the very least, it's nasty outside. And in some cases, it's very dangerous outside, especially if you're traveling near any streams and or creeks. So I'm going to toss it over to Tracy. I'm going to look at some new information, and we'll get back to you.
I want to reiterate this if you said it, and if you didn't, I'll just add this, that the flash flood warning has been issued for Chester and Delaware County until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, we're on the air so that you're prepared. You really shouldn't be going out. We've been telling you about that. And we're starting to get pictures from our viewers. Take a look at this damage. This is from Dover, Kent County. And you can see those power poles bent all along the road. And there's debris all over the street. We've also been talking about that, flying debris. So please be careful if you have to be out. But really, this storm is going to pass. And we might even see some sunshine by late this afternoon. So just take a break and just stay home to stay safe. This is a live look at Wilmington. And you can see traffic on the roads there, but definitely reduced visibility. The rain has come down in some places really, really hard, making it hard to see. And there's flash flooding because the water just doesn't have anywhere to go in some of these places. Let's check with Sheila Wacko and talk about traffic there. Sheila, can you hear me?
We're foggy on all of the roads. We're looking right now. This is 76 around Spring Garden. You can't see anything. All of our roads are very, very foggy. Very dangerous morning out there. If we take a wide look at the region, you'll see that overall our majors not looking too bad. 95's looking good overall as you head down towards Center City. We did have a big crash earlier right around Girard. That has cleared up. Now we do have a crash right now at the foot of the Girard Point Bridge on 95 southbound, blocking both the left and the center lane. That has still not cleared up, and that is starting to cause a delay. Around the airport, 95 is looking clear once again. It looks like our accident there did clear up, and the blue route's actually looking a lot better right around 76. Now we have construction in place that's just adding to all of our troubles. We've seen this the last week or so. 76 westbound between University and the Vine, blocking the right lane. Only the left lane's getting by. We also have the on and off ramps from Walnut Street and University Avenue completely closed. That is giving us delays backed up all the way down to Passyunk Avenue. We're also seeing flooding on Kelly Drive. Seeing a little bit of flooding still on the Schuylkill, but it's gotten a lot better than it was. We did have a crash on the Schuylkill westbound right around Montgomery. That has moved off to the right shoulder, so it's not blocking any lanes, but we are a bit slow across the Schuylkill in both directions. We'll also take a look in Delaware right now. We're seeing more flooding on Route 141. This is right around Route 273, so you just want to be extra careful there. Right now it's blocking the right lane, but slowing drivers down as everyone's being very, very careful through the area. For the most part, the rest of Delaware still looking pretty okay. 95 south is a little bit slow on some spots, but no accidents to worry about at this time. Tracy, back to you.
All right, Sheila, thanks so much. We have our entire team working for you now. Right now, we have reporters and photographers fanned out across the area, and we have our full team of meteorologists working to keep you updated on all of these flash flood warnings that are coming in. And then we have NBC10's Randy Gyllenhaal. He is live. Randy, tell us where you are.
Well, we're on a very soggy Kelly Drive. It is absolutely pouring out here and has been for about 20 minutes. There was a brief respite from all of this rain about an hour ago, but it has definitely picked up again. And it is really coming down, making it a hazard for the drivers here on Kelly Drive. Before I show you the roads, I actually want to show you the river. You may not even be able to see it over here, but this is the Schuylkill River. It is absolutely swollen. You combine all of the rain that's been draining from the roads and the highways, plus all of that rain that happened north of us in the Lehigh Valley in Berks County. That is coming downstream and making the Schuylkill River extremely swollen right now. So I want to show you what Kelly Drive looks like. Sheila was mentioning some flooding that has gotten a bit worse in the past 10 minutes or so as this rain is really starting to come down. Drivers are slowing down, taking it a little easy, but we have seen people plowing through here and kind of swerving out of the way once they realize what they're getting into. This is a scene we've seen all over, up and down the region, from Delaware through Lower Merion. We're actually just driving around the Ardmore area and into Gladwin. Similar scenes and some roads that were just completely flooded out, a lot of debris in the roadways as well. I do want to show you one other thing. You can see all of this runoff that's coming off of the bridges and off of the roads. That is going to all drain back into the creeks and rivers, and that's where a lot of the flooding is happening, near these swollen creeks and rivers. And as the rain continues to come down, that's going to be the issue going into the next few hours, because we're approaching the heart of this storm with a lot of rainfall happening in a very short amount of time. So if you do need to hit the road, be really careful, especially if you're approaching something that seems flooded. If it seems too deep, turn around, find an alternative route. Let's go in one more time, and you can see just how much water on Kelly Drive right now. Earlier in the morning, we were down in Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware, of course, was the first area to see effects of this storm. Their creeks and rivers already swollen. They've had some tornado warnings as well. But right now, the issue is just this heavy rainfall. The wind has not been too bad quite yet in the Philadelphia area, but the rain is definitely picking up. And just looking at the radar, it looks like it's about to get even heavier over the next couple of hours. For now, we're reporting along Kelly Drive. I'm Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC 10 News.
All right, so we have a new tornado warning. Thank you, Randy. Now for Atlantic County, Ocean County, and parts of Burlington County. That's that band of storms, a new tornado warning in effect now. So let's take a look at the latest information. This storm is moving very quickly at 65 miles per hour. Again, these storms have had a history of putting tornadoes on the ground. You got to take it seriously. 10:45, if your phone is going off and you're just tuning in right now and you're in that area where your phone alerted you, or if you just need me to do it for you, we are talking about areas of Atlantic, Burlington, and Ocean County. So these communities right now, this is where you need to be. You need to be in the lowest floor of your home. You need to be away from windows. Brand new tornado warning now for areas of Ocean County. So LBI is right here. So it's in effect for Brigantine. If you're watching us from Brigantine, south to almost Atlantic City, that storm is moving now up towards the north and west at 65. So that is moving very quickly. That does not give you much time to act. So if you're hearing this, you got to act now. You got to go into your interior room. You do not want to be driving. We've had reports of a lot of damage. I was just scrolling through while I was off camera of some of the damage reports, and they are just coming on in here. So you need to take this seriously. Let's put the track on the storm. As we flip over to the velocity mode, we're going to show you the wind direction. Actually, it looks like this part of the storm down here to the south, and get a better perspective of that. And you can see there is a circulation in this vicinity. Let's see if I can get it with the other radar. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is just plot this on for you so we can get those town names up there. So the storm is moving off to the northwest at 65 miles per hour. The storm has potentially a rain-wrapped tornado in it. Brigantine, be in your safe place. Be away from windows. A brief burst, but an intense burst of wind that can topple cars and also a lot of trees. We've seen that down to the south in Strathmere. There we go. We are moving to the northwest at 65. Brigantine, you're in the threat right now. Hopefully you're already in your safe place, 1024 leads. What I'm going to do is zoom out further so we can get some more towns on there to get you squared away, to show you where that warning is, because it is a big warning. I was just showing you this part. So let's get that track back on there to show you the wide scale picture. Again, the storm right here moving in. Let's put that track on there, give you some more communities. There you go. Atlantic City, that threat passing for you right now. You need to be in your safe place. 1026 Absecon, Mystic Island, 1031. You want to be away from windows. We've had tornadoes reported on the ground today, several of them. 1035 Little Egg Harbor, 1040 in Harrisville. Again, this is a fast-moving storm. There's no lightning. You will not hear any thunder with it. It's a burst of rain, very intense wind, and it can put some damage down. I've seen some reports down in Delaware now of somebody reporting 80 trees down, an estimate there on the Weather Service chat. So that's what kind of damage we can do here. And again, these are just coming in, these reports. It's early in the game. So again, let's give you another check of the velocity. Show you that tornado warning, zoom you in just a little bit tighter, get you some more towns because this is a dangerous situation. We've already seen damage today, and we're probably not done just yet. So if you're in the path of this tornado, you're in the tornado warning for Atlantic County, northern Atlantic County. Most of Atlantic County is not in this warning. Central, southern Burlington County. This is a lot of wooded area, but some communities, and then up towards Ocean County, the southern end, just south of LBI. So putting a track on the storm up to the north and west. There you go. 1025 Atlantic City. Again, the storm passing to the north and west of you. 1039 Little Egg Harbor. 1045 Stafford. Basically, if you're in this cone and your town is listed here, you want to be away from windows in the lowest floor of your home. Have your phone or your iPad, something with a cellular charge to it. That way, if you lose your power, you can still get information, because we still have several more hours of this to go. Not in terms of tornado warnings, but then the damaging wind threat comes through. Once that's done, about 2, 3 o'clock, we should be said and done with this, but we're not there yet. We still have a few more hours. So again, tornado warning if you're just joining us. It's not a typical Tuesday morning. We have broken into programming since about 9 o'clock this morning, covering multiple tornadoes in our area, flash flooding, water rescues, and a lot of damage. This is not a good Tuesday morning for us right now. And so we're just waiting for the center of the storm to pass us to the north, that last burst of wind, and then we're done. But we're not there yet. So in and around Philadelphia, the threat for you right now is extremely heavy rain happening here, and flooding is imminent in a lot of these areas. In fact, it looks like we have some new flash flood warnings without surprise, because this is the area that has just been pouring for hours and hours. Now, all of Philadelphia County is under this flash flood warning. This flash flood warning in effect until, I would say, probably early afternoon. Definitely because of the rainfall rates that are going on there till 2:15. There you go, 2:15 flash flood warning, and including Philadelphia. So if we look at the big picture, most of our viewing area, if you're watching this right now, you have some sort of weather problem, and a lot of you, it's flooding from the Lehigh Valley south into the suburbs, into Philadelphia, into a good chunk of Delaware, our suburbs, over the river, and into South Jersey. The most populated area and our whole viewing area is dealing with this flooding right now. It's ongoing and it's severe. So now is not the time to try to get those errands done, the doctor's appointment, cancel it, reschedule it. This is a dangerous situation from both flooding and potentially isolated tornadoes. If anything new breaks out, we'll be right back. Tracy?
All right, Steve, thanks so much. NBC10's Tim Furlong is joining us now. He's live on the phone in Newcastle County. Tim, tell us where you are and what you can see.
Tracy, it's a pretty astounding sight. I'm on Route 13 southbound, right parallel to Delaware Route 1 in Townsend, Newcastle County at Fieldstone Road, for those of you who know the area. On the southbound side of Delaware Route 1, I'm looking across the highway, and right now I see the road littered, get this, with tractor trailers on their sides that were blown over from the wind. Along Route 13, on the west side of Route 1, there is a line of damage, a very clear-cut line of damage that goes all the way up through Odessa. Trees down, trees on houses. It's astounding to see what came through here and what happened. There are billboards that are torn up. But, yeah, I'm looking across at the highway, and I literally see the bottom sides of tractor trailers that are laying on their sides. I did hear they needed to help remove one of the drivers from one of those vehicles. I don't have other reports on injuries. But clearly, in a morning full of just absolutely powerful surges in this storm that have come through, we've heard about them all over. There have been tornado warnings, as Steve was saying. But through Townsend and Odessa, on Route 1, the Route 13 corridor, a line came through here and just tore the place up. And 3 or 4 tractor trailers that happened to be in this area at that time, they had no shot. The cabs blew over, the trailers blew over like a sail caught in the wind, and they're literally laying on their sides on the side of the southbound side of Delaware Route 1. You cannot get on Delaware Route 1 southbound at this point. If you're trying to head south, which I don't advise at this point, you should probably stay where you are. If you do go out, you can cut over. If you're heading south in Middletown, you can cut over through Odessa to Route 13. But Route 13 in Odessa, only one lane is getting by because of probably a dozen trees are down from inside the median, and they are taking up the left lane of the southbound side. So it's a hot mess. It's a hot, wet mess out here right now. It's still raining very hard, Tracy. It's still a very dangerous situation. If you don't need to go out, please don't go out because it's not a great idea. And you're only making things tougher on the first responder and the tow truck crews and everybody that's trying to get the mess cleared up so when the rain does move out, they can assess the damage and move on. But at this point, yeah, again, the Townsend, Odessa area really just got pounded. And I'm looking to hear what the National Weather Service says about what happened here because it is a very clear-cut line that I can see with my own eyes as to what came through here, Tracy.
Tim, when you were out and about this morning, were you seeing a lot of people out on the roads? Because the rain really came down and we continue to have tornado warning after tornado warning in the area.
I was surprised when I got on the road in North Wilmington at like Concord Pike and 95 heading south through Wilmington. I was surprised how many people were on the roads. As I went south, it cleared out a little bit. I think people sort of got the message. And I think northern Newcastle County might have possibly not been as aware necessarily of how bad this was. I think central and southern Newcastle County, and I'm hearing Kent County, State Street and Dover, there are some areas that got hit really hard that we're going to have to go check out over the course of the day. those people understood the significance. So down here in this area of southern Newcastle County, traffic is relatively light. But again, I can only see on Delaware 1 southbound, you can't get by at all. They're going to get, if you're heading south, they're going to get you off the road up in Middletown. So you're going to have to either go west through Middletown or east to Odessa. I'd suggest going west through Middletown because east is through Odessa. It was terrible in terms of all the trees down. It took forever to get through there anyway. So I think I'm with you and Steve on this one, Tracy. Just don't go out. Just stay home and watch Channel 10. We'll do the work for you.
Yeah, we will do the work for you, and we'll tell you when you need to be really careful in your homes and to take cover there. Don't drive. We'll let you get back to what you're doing, Tim. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing those pictures and to finding out if anybody was hurt. But before you go, recap again for us what you're seeing with the tractor trailers on their sides. And you said something interesting. You said it looks like a sail that got caught in the wind. They just toppled over on their side.
Yeah, it's amazing. The line is so precise. Yeah. The line is so precise of these tractor trailers that were all heading south through Townsend at Fieldsboro Road on Delaware 1 at the same exact time. And literally, there are 3 of them within the course of, I'd say maybe 450 yards. I can see up and down the road. And I'll put this on social media. I'll make sure I get these images to NBC10 real soon here. Tractor trailers just laying on their sides, flipped over to their right side. I'm seeing the underbellies of these vehicles. You think of how heavy a tractor trailer is, especially if it has a load of stuff in the back. And they blew over like sails. That's the wind that came through. And it really does jibe with what I'm seeing everywhere else, too. I mean, as you go right along the west side of Delaware Route 1, there's a line of damage. I mean, I could see it and go, oh, wow, there's no question where the damage is. It's right there in a straight, very precise line. When this all clears, I'd love to see it from a drone or the helicopter, just because I think you're going to see a real precise line that went right through this area and right up through Odessa. And, everybody needs to take it seriously. We're not that far, by the way, from the Delaware Bay, Delaware River. So, we hear that it's sort of headed over to New Jersey. I heard Steve say that, too. So wherever you're watching this, north and east of where I am in southern Newcastle County, please take this seriously. This is no joke.
This is no joke. Tim, thanks so much. Again, we'll reiterate what Steve said, what Tim said. You need to take this seriously. That's why we're on the air telling you what's ahead and what's coming with this storm. Already this morning, we've seen heavy rain coming down. We've seen flash flooding. We've seen water rescues. We have a tornado watch for much of the area. We have a flash flood watch for Philadelphia, Chester County, Delaware County. And now we're starting to see some of the winds down the shore. Steve Sosna has been watching that.
Yeah, I thought something was up when I didn't see the Cape May camera available. It got knocked off. And I thought, something's going on down there. Look at what we got. We got 60 to potentially 70 mile per hour wind gusts going on at the shore. This is outside of any thunderstorms. This is just pure wind, and that could do damage. Certainly, the gusts are what get you in trouble, because when you have a gust, it's just that forward momentum. It kind of like knocks your wind out. It's what it does to the trees. And so that's why we have a lot of issues now happening in the southern part of our viewing area in terms of the Jersey Shore, Atlantic County and Wildwood, 62 mile per hour wind gusts. We have power outages in Cape May right now, so that makes sense given the conditions. We warned you yesterday. You're probably going to lose power, and you still may lose power in some areas. Notice the wind gust isn't that bad in Philadelphia. Look what's happening down in Annapolis. Their winds are just ramping up. So you have to look to your neighbors for the story here of what happens, and that is what will kick up the winds in Philadelphia. Likely, it'll be the southern part of the storm, not this front end. Jersey Shore, you get the worst of this end. It's the back end with the wind and no rain that will be the worst part of the storm for Philadelphia, and that will still have to pivot through the shore too. So several more hours to go, even outside of the flash flooding. So again, a lot of layers to this, a lot of layers. The first being the flash flooding, the tornadoes, which have produced damage in New Jersey and down in Delaware, as Tim was talking about. And again, we were showing you those images on radar. And when I said, wow, that image popped out, that meant you really got to take this storm seriously. So whenever we say get away from windows, we mean it. So updated wind gusts now in, looks like Wildwood, 58 miles per hour. And I'm going to get you over to the tracker because we still have one active tornado warning as far as I know. And it looks like, wow, we had a 54, so that's a 62 mile per hour wind gust that we saw in Atlantic City. The airport just reporting that right now. So tornado warning is now been canceled for Atlantic, Burlington, and Ocean County. That's great news. That storm, at least for the meantime, is not doing any more damage, but we've already had issues with that. Looks like we have some new warnings going on here. So let's go back over to the alerts. A lot of flash flood warnings. So we're seeing less and less tornado warnings. Still not out of the woods. We got to wait for that arc to get through, but the emphasis now is turning more and more to heavy rain and wind. So we'll be able to slowly pull the plug on this tornado threat probably in the next couple of hours, but we're not there yet, but we're getting closer. Still got a lot of wind and rain to go. So here's the latest radar scan for you. It's this line that has a lot of trouble with it. This is the one with all those storms rotating all around it. This is the one that was in Delaware earlier today, just now in a different direction. This area is not as favorable for tornadoes, so I'm not as worried about this in our suburbs. Doesn't mean you're completely out of the woods. You're just not as much in the game as you are in New Jersey. Flash flooding is the big story in our Pennsylvania suburbs right now. Chester County, Montgomery County, Bucks County, through Philadelphia. And then hop over the river, take the 42 freeway down through Gloucester, Camden County as we're seeing that, and then right into Burlington County, right around Cherry Hill, Mount Laurel. All these communities have been hit very hard with torrential rains. And we know what that stretch does on 130. That floods very easily. Also the Admiral Wilson Boulevard. So we'll have to see if anything comes out of that. But again, very heavy rainfall rates. In fact, as we move to the radar picture and then the velocity, not seeing anything in terms of tornado-like damage right now in terms of tornadoes on the ground. But again, down at the shore on the radar, if you're firing up your app on your phone or if you're looking right here, you're not seeing a lot going on. You think, oh, it's done. But we're getting 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts in this spot right here. So the wind is the story. We'll tell you when the threat is over. Your threat not done just yet. We got to wait a couple more hours till this pivots around. But again, that's the latest information for you. As of 10:32, no tornado warnings at the moment. We know how that can change in minutes. We'll be back if we have any new information on that. We're going to look over storm reports and we're going to turn it over to Tracy now.
And
Tracy.
as we watch those high winds, Steve, we're getting continued reports about power outages in the area. So as we always say, if you still have power right now, you should charge your devices because we want to keep you ahead of the storm. Our NBC10 meteorologists, that's what they're doing. They're keeping you ahead of the storm, or they're giving you a warning because you're not going to hear it. It's just going to be on you. And so we want everyone to be safe. Let's talk with Glenn Hurricane Schwartz now. Glenn, fill us in about what you're watching.
Yeah, Tracy, that map that you see up there is a forecast hour by hour, and you can see just over the next couple of hours that Delaware is going to be seeing improvement, at least in the heavy rain. It won't be having the tornado threat. As Steve mentioned, there will be a brief wraparound, strong gusty wind, and with the wet ground that can knock over trees and cause more power outages. There's noontime, still heavy in Philadelphia, but shortly thereafter, it really cuts off. You're going to see this rain go from torrential rain to practically nothing in a matter of minutes. When that happens, that is the end of the worst of the rainfall. The flooding will continue for a while. There's 3 o'clock and things are pretty much gone. Here's a closer view of that. There's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and no rain across a good bit of the area. This is the latest, and from checking out the plot, the center of Isaias is just south of Wilmington. It's moving north at 35 miles an hour. That's as of the 10 o'clock advisory. It may be moving even faster right now. And you could see those winds coming in off the ocean. You can also see they're not all from the same direction. So those winds collide, and that causes more rising motion, and that's one of the ingredients in the development of those tornadoes. Tornadoes like what we've seen this morning are extremely rare, maybe even unprecedented in Philadelphia, in the Philadelphia area. but you need an unprecedented kind of setup. We have a significant tropical storm with a very powerful jet stream higher up, and the center of that storm is going to be past Philadelphia by 2 o'clock. We still may be seeing, let's say, the last of our really strong gusts. Look at that. Hour by hour, well over 50 in Philly. So the wind in Philadelphia is going to increase in the next hour or two and then suddenly decrease. That is what we are expecting this afternoon. And later today, all right, we're not going to be getting heavy rain, but these creeks are going to be flooding. The rivers are going to start going up. And once again, the biggest killer in these kinds of storms is flooding, flash flooding, and people driving through the flooded waters. So spread the word around. Tell everybody you know who may be on the road at any time today. Turn around, don't drown.
We say it all the time, Glenn. Absolutely. It's 10:36. If you're just joining us, we have you covered with the flash flood warnings that are in effect, the tornado watches that are in effect. And speaking of turn around, don't drown, NBC10's Randy Gyllenhaal is, well, right near a road that is flash flooding and people are driving right into it.
Yeah, you know, we're live along Kelly Drive where we've been having some flooding issues both on the road as well as the grassy areas inside Fairmount Park. Philadelphia under a flash flood warning. I can tell you that the Office of Emergency Management has set up a 24-hour command center. That's because of scenes like this. This is the grassy area inside Fairmount Park, completely flooded over. Some standing water, probably about up to your knee here. But the more dangerous situation is over here on Kelly Drive. If we'll walk over a little bit, you can see the ponding that we've seen all over our region. The water just kind of pooling right here because it's a low spot, one of those areas that's typically prone to flooding. And drivers who typically go pretty quickly down Kelly Drive are slamming their brakes as they approach this intersection here, and a lot of them just hitting that water head on. And it's been growing deeper and deeper over the last, I'd say, about 20 minutes as we've gotten heavier rains here. The rains really picked up about an hour ago, and it's been consistently heavy since then. We had a brief break, but it's gotten a lot worse now that the heart of this storm is over us and these heavy rains are picking up. Let's head over to the Schuylkill River. If we pan over here to the left, it is extremely swollen, a lot of debris floating around in there, and that's because of all the water we've had, not only today and this morning, but draining out from Berks County, the Schuylkill up north. They had so much rain over the past few days that is starting to make its way downstream, and you combine all of this water with that, and there's some flooding issues on your creeks, your rivers, and your tributaries all over our region right now. So those flooding issues because of the rivers, also a concern, in addition to the flooding we're getting on our roadways. I'm going to put this umbrella down because we're actually under a bridge here, so we got a little bit of space to work with. Another issue that we have seen as we drove around the lower Marion area is just a lot of debris in the roadway because of all the water that washed branches, leaves, trees. So people are taking it pretty slow over there as well. They had some pretty big flooding issues around 10 o'clock this morning, including some water rescues, stranded cars. We saw a few cars that were stuck on the side of the road. As the storm moves out further north, things will start to dry up. But if you need to go outside, as Steve was saying, don't unless you really have to. If you have to drive, take it really slow because these ponds of water will pop up out of nowhere and you'll have to slam on your brakes. And that's what we're seeing a lot of people do as they hit this water spot here on Kelly Drive. For now, we're reporting on a very soaked Kelly Drive. We'll bring you updates as soon as we can, but I'm Randy Gyllenhaal. We'll send it back to you.
Randy, it's very good advice. If you don't have to go out, don't go out, because this is a fast-moving storm. And although it's not done yet, and we still have more to come, by later this afternoon, it'll be all clear. And you can see we've been talking about the heavy rain, and then the winds will be the next thing to move in. And then you can look at the damage that we've already seen happen. This is damage from Dover. You can see those power poles bent all along the road, and we do have power outages coming in. Charge your devices. And then there is debris all over this street. That's a common thing that we're seeing as well. So be careful if you have to be out. Not only are you dealing with flash flooding, but you're dealing with debris all over the road. Steve?
Yeah, it's one of these events that just kind of wears you down with time. And so it's important. You got to stay alert, got to get through it. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We will get to the finish line, but we still have several more hours to go. And what I'm really concerned about is what's unfolding now in the Philadelphia area. This radar signature is classic in terms of heavy rain and very bad flash flooding. So I have a feeling that conditions are going to go downhill even more so in the next couple of hours. We work with a team of meteorologists, full transparency here. So the Weather Service, we communicate with them. We look at some of the other government agencies. We all talk and communicate together. We have a lot of eyes on this storm right now. And the eyes that are looking at the rainfall at the moment are very concerned that there could be another 2 to 4 inches of rain on top of what has already fallen, and isolated 6 inches more than what has already fallen in this pocket here in southeastern Pennsylvania. That's really concerning. We've already had several inches of rain. That is getting into the territory of, potentially some really bad flash flooding and dangerous flash flooding. So hopefully you're home, you're just watching us, and you can watch this safely. But now is not the time to travel. This is a very dangerous time. I know we've been talking about danger for a long time. It seems like hours. It has been hours. This is another element of the storm, and this is the one that kills the most people. So we're being very serious, very toned. So in this rain ban down here in Montgomery County is NBC10 reporter Lauren Make. Lauren, what are your conditions right now? I can imagine that rain is just driving down.
Steve, we are actually getting a break right now. The rain had been pounding for the past 10 minutes or so, and we got a little bit lucky. And it's coming down a little bit lighter right now. But let me show you what the concern is here. You can see that this road is blocked off. We are at Caldwell Lane and Elm in Conshohocken. And the reason this is blocked off is because we are on a bit of a hill. And as this water has been coming down steadily, you can take a look over here. This is why. Take a look at my feet. And you can see how the water just rushes down this hill. What they're concerned about here are the folks who live in apartments and the businesses that are down this hill on Caldwell Lane, and they don't want them to get trapped down there if things were to start flooding. So fire rescue folks actually went down earlier and let them know that it was a good time to get out. We have seen trucks coming from the businesses down there and moving out of this area. I just talked to the manager of a deli that is down this road, Cap's Deli, and they were dealing with some flooding. She tells me that water did actually come into that deli. They had to deal with that. They got a message on their phone to get out of the area, and they did do that. She said everyone is okay, but they definitely did start to see that water coming in because, as you can see, it just starts flowing down this hill, and that's why they've got stuff blocked off in this area. For now, live in Conshohocken, I'm Lauren Make, NBC 10 News. Guys, back to you.
Just get the information out. We don't care. Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, however you can get that information to a loved one, to a friend. You got to be off the roads right now. This is a dangerous situation unfolding. It's funny, Lauren said about the rain lightening up. She's in that little hole right here on the radar, but there's another band of rain coming back towards the north and west again. And you saw towards the tail end of her live shot, that rain starting to kick back in. So another wave. Again, these are tropical downpours, meaning the sky just opens up over you and then it lightens up a little bit and then it can start again and continue for hours. But this area of southeastern Pennsylvania has been hit very hard. And she was in Conshohocken. If you know anything about that part of the viewing area, which a lot of you do, there's a lot of hills. And so that water can really just get funneled in, and it takes about 3 feet of moving water to push your car, and then you're in the river. And so nothing pretty about that. So that's why we're saying just get the message out, get off the roads, several more hours. When this rain stops, there will be a quick end to this flash flooding. That is the one saving grace. Flash flooding, it starts fast and it ends fast. So this will wind down. But in the meantime, when it's happening, it's fast and it's furious, and you got to be aware. So we're turning our attention from tornado warnings, which we were talking about for a long time, and now this high impact flood event for our Pennsylvania suburbs, parts of Philadelphia and into Newcastle. As you can see with the bands, they're in narrow corridors. So this rain isn't being evenly distributed, meaning, one community could have 3 inches. 10 miles down the road, you have 6 or 7 inches. Well, the impacts of that are very different. So from community to community, it's going to vary. But that's why we don't want you driving from community to community, because it can go from okay to terrible in feet. So that's the setup right now across southeastern Pennsylvania. There is a bit of a hole now setting up. So let's take you back to the big view and show you what's happening right now. At 10:45 this morning, we are dealing with Tropical Storm Isaias moving up the coastline, moving north. We are now in the front part of the storm. This is the worst part of the storm for both wind and rain. We have not had any tornado warnings in the last, I would say, 20 minutes or so, but we're still not out of the woods. We need to get this band through. So it's almost through, moving through central New Jersey. I'd actually watched this cell over Burlington County. This one looks like it may have some sign of rotation, so it's not there just yet, but keep your eye on this storm. This one may have some rotation and a potential tornado down the road. This is the part of the line that will produce those tornadoes. To the south, still not this line, we got to watch this one too, and it's all funneling in. So there's a lot of air converging here. What that does, think about a sponge, just wringing out the sponge, all that water comes out. That's what's happening right here, and that water is just coming down in buckets across parts of our area. Aaron?
Yeah, we have been following the impacts of Isaias across our region all morning long. Let's go to NBC10's Tim Furlong. He is live for us in Newcastle County. Tim, the last time we heard from you, you were describing what you were seeing. A lot of the tractor trailers in that area just blown over on their side, an indication of how strong the storm was there.
Yeah, before I could tell you what I saw, now I want to show you. That's one of the tractor trailers right there. That's the southbound side of Delaware Route 1. And you can see what the wind did to that tractor trailer when the storm came through. But here's the thing. It didn't just happen to that one tractor trailer. At the same exact time, it happened to that tractor trailer up there, and then the tractor trailer well beyond that as well. So you can see, as I step out of the way here, you can see the power of that wind when it came through here in one swoop. That was all, I'm told, at one time that this happened. So when the wind came through Odessa, Townsend, that area, this is what we saw. We haven't heard from the National Weather Service. JR, can you show us, it's hard to see a little bit, that building over there. I see first responder crews now showing up at the building back there. That building was ripped apart. At first I thought it was just an older building, but now I can see the sides have been ripped off, and there are crews looking at that. The billboard right there, that was, I drive this way all the time. I drove this road yesterday coming back from Rehoboth Beach. That sign was fine yesterday. And if we go up here to the right, JR, swing up there to the right past that truck right there. You can see the trees that got clipped off. See it right there? The trees got clipped off. And if you go north on Delaware Route 1 and US and Route 13, which is the road that we're on here, which is the smaller, old-fashioned road that we all used to use to go to and from the beaches before Route 1 was made, the weather came right through this corridor. All the way up through Odessa, I found trees down on the southbound side. You can only get by one lane. It was a mess. You can still not use Delaware Route 1 southbound at Middletown. They're going to get you off the road. You're going to have to take the back roads. They might put you on Route 13. You might want to go west. I suggest going west, and if you have to head down to Dover or Smyrna, those areas, you might want to go that way. Now, this is not just the only spot where we have problems in Delaware. I was talking to Jeff Sands from the Delaware Emergency Management Agency. As you can see, they're trying to right these trucks and get them out of the way so they can get everybody back in business here. I talked to the Delaware Emergency Management area folks, and they said that State Street in Dover has had some very significant problems. They got hit pretty hard. There's a bunch of spots that got hit really hard that the National Weather Service is going to have to determine what exactly happened. But from a layman's perspective, I can tell you whatever happened, whatever you want to call it, it was bad. And in fact, again, this is the most visible damage I've seen. 3 tractor trailers, 1, 2, 3, and it's the span of about 450 yards. All of those tractor trailers blown over at almost the exact same time as a very brief piece of the storm came right through here and swept up. We're going to continue to follow the story. We're going to try to talk to the emergency management people to find out more things you're going to need to know. The thing that you really need to know right now in Delaware, though, I'm going to tell you this right now. Don't go out if you don't have to. Let this all pass. It's going to get nicer later today. You're going to be fine. You're going to run your errands. You're going to do all the things you need to do. A lot of the COVID testing sites postponed because of the weather, all that stuff. Just be patient with this. Let it go. And seriously, Kent County and southern Newcastle County, you want to avoid driving in these areas because right now you're getting through on the northbound side a little bit. as I see a DENREC emergency response vehicle just tore up the highway too, probably off to assist at one of the scenes that we've been talking about and what we drove through ourselves to get here. But again, Route 13 is slow. Delaware 1 is not passable right now, so just be very careful out there. And again, we're going to keep you posted. It's an amazing scene. I tell you, when I got here, I couldn't believe what I saw. These tractor trailers. I heard my phone blowing up with people telling me what I was going to see when I got here. But it's pretty amazing to see 3 huge tractor trailers laying on their sides. We're still checking on injuries. I heard one of the drivers needed help getting out of the vehicle from rescue crews. So we'll keep you posted. But yeah, I mean, there's building damage. There's trees ripped up. Odessa, Townsend, Middletown area took a little bit of a beating today, and hopefully it's the last of the beatings we're going to take today. Back to you.
Yeah, those pictures, Tim, really tell the story there. 3 tractor trailers just blown on their side. I want to go now to First Alert meteorologist Steve Sosna here with some new information coming in.
Yeah, Aaron, looking at the radar, I'm really concerned about this. This is what we look for when we see a potential tornado signature. And as far as I know, they don't have a tornado warning out just yet, but keep your eye on this. This is over a very populated area just north and west of Norristown. Just make sure that we don't have any new warnings. No warnings with that, but that one is a very suspicious looking cell right here. Right here, there's some rotation going on here. So the Weather Service probably watching this one. At least the rotation is above the ground, but maybe not to the ground just yet. But keep an eye on this storm. Again, this is in our northern and western suburbs. We haven't had too many tornado warnings up here. I'd keep your eye on this storm. This one potentially at least damaging winds with it moving up towards the Limerick area as this storm races to the north at highway speed at 65 miles per hour. Again, not a tornado warning yet. Maybe there won't be one, but I'm really suspicious of this one. So we'll keep our eye on this. But northern and western suburbs, you really need to be on guard. A potential situation of damaging winds and maybe a tornado in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Steve. Now let's go to Glenn Hurricane Schwartz. You know, we don't want people to get a
tornado warning.
Oh, we have one.
I think, yep, there you go. That's the storm.
Well, you called it.
There we go. So that was the storm that we were talking about. That had a signature. It was collecting together the bright reds and the bright greens. When you see that, the storm is rotating. It's healthy. Again, it may not have it for a long time, but there is the tornado warning with that storm. So let's go over to the velocity mode. This is the wind. This is what I was looking at. This bright spot next to this bright spot, 2 different colors, wind toward and away from the radar. We've seen this time after time today. We've seen the damage with this today. Take this seriously. So let's put a storm track on this. I'm going to walk off to see what the speed of this storm is. This storm is now moving. Again, this is for our northern and western suburbs. Tornado warning issued for you. Thank you for all of us that are joining on KYW News Radio 1060. Tornado warning in effect for Montgomery County till 11:15. Again, a lot of people probably driving on this section of the roadway. 11:15, capable of producing a tornado located near Norton, 18 miles northwest of Philadelphia, moving northwest at 40. Sorry, guys, I just want to put a quick cone on this before we go. 40 miles per hour. We've got to put a cone on this. Very populated area. 40 miles per hour, moving to the north and west. Potential towns in this pack: Skippack, Harleysville, Marlboro, Milford, Bailey. Be in your safe place, away from windows and in an interior room, and not on the roads.
This has been a busy morning. Again, all over the area. Tornado warning, again, as you just mentioned, just issued. Want to go down to Randy Gyllenhaal live along Kelly Drive, where the rain is coming down there, Randy.
Yeah, flash flood warning for this part of Philadelphia, and that's because we've just had this nonstop heavy rain pouring down for about 2 hours now. And on Kelly Drive, you know, there are a ton of these low-lying spots that tend to have ponding and flooding issues. And Philly police have actually been in and out of this one, trying to warn drivers that this is coming up on them. And as we'll see a couple cars coming here. Yeah, we got one coming right now. And they approach this pond of water. Some of them don't see it and go a little too fast. And that's part of the issue that a lot of folks are seeing when they come upon this part of Kelly Drive. Here comes one SUV, and they'll slam on the brakes. And you can see the water. Those 2 cars actually almost just hit each other because they were unaware of that puddle and going too fast. That is a good lesson, by the way, right there. When you have to slam on the brakes and you have these flooded roads, you may get into some sort of accident. We saw one car stall out in that puddle. Philly police had to come and help them out as well. In Philadelphia, the Office of Emergency Management overseeing this flooding situation. Right now, we're just seeing a lot of ponding and flooding on roadways, but if we get more, we'll bring it to you live. For now, we're along Kelly Drive. I'm Randy Gyllenhaal. Back to you.
Please be careful if you have to be out on the roads there. All right, from the city to the suburbs, let's go to Lauren Make, live in Conshohocken in Montgomery County for us. Lauren, tell us what you're seeing out there.
Aaron, the rain has picked up here since we saw you last. Remember, Steve was talking about how we were in that little bit of a blip getting a break, and the rain has now picked up again. Randy was just talking about the roads in the city. Let me show you what's happening here. Take a look. This is Elm, and you can see folks are not having too much trouble. That rain is coming down pretty steadily and heavily here, and it is laying on the road, but we don't see major ponding happening in this area. The real concern is right next to me here, and that's why this road is blocked off, because it is on a hill. This is Caldwell Lane, and what happens is that they're concerned about flash flooding that could be happening down there. That's why Conshohocken officials have asked the residents and the businesses that are down there at the end of that hill to move out of the area, and we've heard that folks have been doing that because you can see that this water just starts to run down the hill, and as the rain picks up, as we are seeing right now, well, that water comes down even faster. Live in Conshohocken, I'm Lauren Make, NBC10 News.
All right, Lauren, so much to be careful of today. I want to get back to First Alert meteorologist Steve Sosna. He was telling us about a tornado warning in a very populated area.
Yeah, so our northern and western suburbs, Aaron, are under the gun this time. Montgomery County, if you're watching us from Skippack or those communities, you are under a tornado warning. We've had several confirmed tornadoes with extensive damage today. You need to be away from windows. You need to be in the lowest floor of your home, and hopefully you're not driving. Send alerts to your family however you can get them. You need to be away. This is a dangerous situation. We've had multiple tornado touchdowns this morning, and so we have no exception with this storm right now. So let's take a look at the latest indicator of the storm. Still looking at some strong rotation here, moving off to the north and west. Let's put a storm track on this. The storm rotating right here, so we're going to assume the scan is about a minute or two old and go up in this direction. We may have to do that at 11 o'clock. But anyway, yeah, the tornado, there we go. Let's put the track on there. Sanatoga, 11:02, 11:06, Pottstown, 11:09, Douglas, Specklesville, 11:13, Ole. So that's assuming the storm system continues on. But again, in this area right here, let's get the community names right on the grid here. We are talking about a tornado potentially on the ground right now, just east of Pottstown, right near Skippack. You got to be in your safe place.
It has been a rough start to this Tuesday. We've had tornado watches, warning, flash flood warnings, and watches as well. Our coverage continues on NBC 10 News at 11 a.m. We will be back here in just 2 minutes with all of your weather headlines, all of your news headlines. Don't go away. We will see you right here in 2 minutes.
Now, your NBC 10 First Alert weather.
Good afternoon. I'm NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Krystal Klei, updating you on the latest with Tropical Storm Isaias. And what we see here, this is a live view from Center City. Notice the camera is just rocking. It's shaking because the winds are still so strong with this storm. So the good news is the worst of the rain has moved out. There is no longer rain on this camera lens, but the winds are still very powerful and certainly can still cause damage, meaning that if you're thinking, hey, now it's good to drive, there could still be branches or power lines coming down when you have gusts this strong, and we've had them for so long. In fact, take a look. Those strong gusts all the way up to Allentown, gusts of 52 miles per hour, 51 in Mount Pocono, gusts at 44 in Philadelphia, and still reporting at 51 at the Atlantic City Airport. And I pointed this out in the last hour, but areas like Mount Holly, the weather receivers have actually gone down because the winds are so strong. They just got the radar system back up. So we are looking at a storm that is powerful enough that even weather systems are struggling to handle the just intensity as it moves through. So the center of the storm is starting to lift out and away from us. That means it's taking the worst of the rain because it's top heavy all to the north, away from us as well. Still a few scattered showers though, and some pockets of a little steadier rain, but Redding is starting to dry out. Still steady rain in parts of the Lehigh Valley and some scattered showers parts of Montgomery and Bucks County. You see that through Milford and right on down into Horsham. Philadelphia, some light rain moving through South Philly, and then that line kind of stretches into South Jersey. You might be noticing all these red boxes in place. These are still all of the flash flood warnings in place. Flash flooding is when you have imminent water moving through areas. It's not a hey, it might happen. It is a hey, it is happening through Berks County, the Lehigh Valley, our Pennsylvania suburbs, Philadelphia, and even down into South Jersey through Central Jersey and Trenton. So we've got a lot of areas where we have seen tons of rain reports that have triggered flooding and a lot of rescues. So we keep saying this, and maybe you're getting sick of hearing it, but until this storm is done, we will continue. Don't drive if you don't have to, because so many roads are washed out. It's going to be difficult to get through if you have any side streets that you typically use. I've also mapped out all the river flooding issues we have. When you see red and purple dots, that's a big deal. We don't often see that. This purple dot you see is near Christiana River. That's in Newcastle County. Parts of Newark getting flooding because of this. And this is going to continue for the next several hours at the very least. Areas like the Schuylkill River all the way up, we're seeing reportings of flooding issues. And we expect that to continue at least through tonight and even into parts of tomorrow. So if we go through our hour-by-hour model, you'll see we are drying out from the rain. We go from now through 3 o'clock. Really just some spotty showers are left to linger, but we will still have these winds as they start to taper this evening. And we'll have more details on that coming up on NBC10 News at 4.
Now your NBC10 First Alert weather.
And good afternoon. I'm NBC10 First Alert Meteorologist Krystal Klei. A live camera view from Philadelphia. We are looking at the Schuylkill River. You can see that the waves are really wicked along the water, and it looks like the water has moved over some of the pier and sidewalk that normally runs on the backside of Boathouse Row. So really seeing flooding issues all over the place, including along the Schuylkill River, and it's going to be causing issues throughout the night. In fact, take a look at all the flood warnings in place. So these aren't flash flood warnings where it's that instant flooding that goes through roadways. This is river and creek flood issues that will last likely through the night and into parts of tomorrow. And it's all over the place, from Mercer County to Bucks County, Montgomery to Philadelphia, all the way down to Chester and Newcastle County. We have so many different locations where we're seeing river and creek flooding reported. I couldn't go through all of them if I had a whole hour to talk, because there are just so many locations that are seeing problems. Yet again, another reason we issued this first alert, warning you to stay indoors if you could throughout today. Now, there are still flash flood warnings in place, but just for the Lehigh Valley and Berks County here, these will expire the next hour or so. These are areas where roadways are flooded, but because the rain is exiting, that water should start to come down as long as drainage is good in the area. So if we widen this out, you see that Tropical Storm Isaias is starting to move to the north of us. Just a little bit of rain left in parts of the Lehigh Valley, and at this point it's just light rain. So we are almost done with the rain. We do still have the winds to combat, but they're starting to come down as well. Gusts now at 37 miles per hour in Philadelphia, from the mid-50s to 23 now in Allentown, so a lot of improvement there. And same at the shore. The Atlantic City Airport at times was up to 50, 60 mile per hour plus. Now gusts of 35. And as we go through this evening, those winds should continue to come down. Take a look. By 4 to 5, much more manageable winds expected. We'll talk more about the damage reports we saw today, as well as what to expect in the days to come. Coming up on NBC10 News at 4.